we do here is go back.
You never know, this might actually work. Hopefully it does. Oh yeah, Mike here, Mike's Unboxing Reviews now too. It is Saturday the 16th of December 2023. This time next week it will be almost Christmas Day. How very scary.
And then it'll be over.
Video and sound are good. It's working. Happy days. And then Christmas will be over, which I'm kind of looking forward to already. I'm pissed off with it already. I don't know what's going on. I spend most of the year looking forward to Christmas songs being on the radio and the jingles and the festivities and the bunting and all that kind of stuff. But when it actually comes to being Christmas, I go all humbug on it. It's just, I don't like it at all. It's just frustrating me now. I just want it to be over. I want it to be summer again. Can we please have spring at least? Spring will be good. Rick H's birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday for tomorrow. Happy days. Oh, that's too much food for dinner again. It happens. Let's see if the overhead camera is working. Yep, that appears to be good. Although it's a little bit on the bright side actually. Let me just adjust that.
It's quiet as always.
Very slightly. It's quiet.
Yeah.
Let's do a third of a stop. I think that's going to be enough. Mick Woods come in £20. Thank you, Mick, for the super chat. And there's one from Bob as well earlier. Bless your heart. Is that working? For last week as well. The bestest live stream on YouTube.
Oh.
Bless you. That's very kind. Yeah. Which channel were you watching?
Right, and then we do it Ugly Bob.
And there's Ugly Bob. You can have your disco. Where was it? All the way. Actually, it's not even on this.
I know, unless you keep the chat at the top.
Oh yes, because the chat. I changed the chat, didn't I?
Apologies if I haven't said hi
Sorry.
to anyone.
There you go, Bob. There's your RGB. I'm gonna take this hat off because my head's getting a bit hot already. And do I get my other one? Let's be a complete sellout, and I'll put the other one on instead. There we go. Oh, it feels cooler already. Jason Wood says, not feeling very well, I'm off to bed. Would like to say well done, Mike and Kath, for reaching 100k. Thank you, Jason. Much appreciated. And very much appreciated all of you that are joining us tonight on this. Yeah, obviously. Thank you all for joining us on this somewhat momentous occasion. We have officially passed the line, and the cats have already scratched this up a bit. I'm a bit upset about that. But don't worry, because we have... That's why baby Jesus gave us Sharpies, so you can rectify small issues like this. Yeah, there we go. No one to know. We'll keep it between ourselves. So this is it. This is actually how it come from America, from YouTube in California or wherever it was, or well, the company that does it. It's not actually that YouTube don't send you this; they just give you a code so you can redeem it, and it comes from a company called, I'm trying to think now, Creator Rewards or something along those lines. Anyway, so yeah, there's a website you can go to. You put in your redemption code, blah blah blah, and they send you one of these things. It's taken about just under 2 weeks, I think, to get here.
They're not doing it for a reflective one, are they?
Thank you, Ugly Bob, for the super chat. £20, very kind of you, sir. Oh, why has that opened up your God's channel? Didn't want to do that. Where are we? Go back. Where's my live stream? There we go. Thank you very much, Ugly Bob. I wouldn't recommend wrapping presents after a bottle of vodka and 6 beers. Oh, and if someone gets my Sky remote, I'll need that back. I often wonder when I'm actually sending Amazon stuff back. I always think, like, especially if there's more than one thing going on at a time, I've got to be really careful just in case I send something that I really shouldn't.
Like the kittens.
Like a kitten. That would be pretty good. Really Round Review says, congrats Mike and Kath. Thank you very much. Ugly Bob says, quicker than AliExpress. It is. It is actually considerably quicker than AliExpress. So yeah, this is... I've said this before loads of times, that the channel was never... It was never designed to be one of those things of like, we want to get to X amount of subscribers, or we want to do... There was no real specific goal other than the fact of trying to make some money to actually provide an income so that... Oh, actually, I'll rewind. For those of you that don't know how we've got here, this is basically how we got here. So probably about seven years ago, I think it was.
15.
Yeah, 2015-ish. And prior to that, I'd been working at the BBC in Bristol. Then they moved the TV show to Cardiff, which was BBC Casualty, and Doctor Who in Poblecombe were all based in the same place. And I was working over there. Got to a point where Kath was starting to be somewhat unwell. And she was going through tests and diagnosis and all those kinds of things you do, go to see specialists, etc., etc. And yeah, Kath was really struggling. And she was diagnosed with a form of Parkinson's, which I think is called FND, which stands for, was it functional neurological disorder. So it's kind of, if you imagine Parkinson's, the symptoms and the kind of the whole setup is basically that sort of thing. So FND is the thing. You can look it up and find out what it's all about. But basically it is like a brain condition. So you gradually deteriorate. You lose the ability to move, talk, think. All those kinds of things just start going. Writing was very difficult. Odd behavioural changes as well. It just wasn't a very good time at all. And because of that diagnosis and the kind of the ongoing prognosis, it was like, well, I've got a pretty decent job here at the BBC. I hate doing it. I'm selling my soul, but it's paying the bills, and potentially I can work and not have to worry too much financially. Kath will be all right. She can stay at home. But what happens when she becomes more ill?
So you've got me a job with you.
So in between that time, in order to try and get Kath to actually try and do more and engage and see if there was something we could do which was outside of the norm. So normally when people get ill, they kind of just rest up and you know the rest. So I managed to get Kath a job with me, working in the BBC. Bizarrely as my assistant in the prop store. So I was the prop store manager, she was my assistant. So it was it was a weird thing, like working with your wife. It was weird for everybody else other than me. For me, it was great. It was a blessing because Kath kind of knew intuitively what I wanted done and just did it. So I basically didn't have to do a great deal. It was ace. So yeah, that went on for a year or more. And then they didn't renew her contract because of some... I'm not going to go into that. Basically, they wouldn't renew her contract, even though she was the best person to do the job by a long, long margin. So... I'm
not sure I understand.
I didn't, to be honest with you, Siri. I had no idea what was going on. I was very confused. So this was actually like a big setback for Kath and her mental state as well. So with the mental state, the illness, she almost instantaneously deteriorated, which is to be understandable. And I did as well. I kind of fell apart a bit myself, and some things happened. And that kind of same day, the first day of going back in and Kath not being there, I basically said, I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to do this to myself. I'm not going to risk my health as well, which was getting pretty bad. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to work myself into an early grave. So I basically walked out. Long and short of it, went off on sick, mental health illness, and I was doing the YouTube. YouTube was carrying on. We started doing YouTube at the time because we kind of knew in the background that we had to be kind of prepared and had to have a secondary income just in case, because you never know what's going to happen. YouTube was ticking over. By the time we left the BBC, I think we probably only had about a few thousand subscribers. maybe 2,000 or 3,000 possibly. I think we'd got over 1,000 subscribers. So we were a tiny channel. Very, very small channel. And at the time we were working full-time in Cardiff, working kind of, well, we would get to Cardiff at about 10 in the morning and we'd leave at 7, get home for about 8, 8:30.
So leaving at 8:30 in the morning, get home about
Yeah.
8:30.
7:30 to 8:30 basically. And then coming home, and then one night I would record a video and the next night I would edit the video. And do that every single night, and then on the weekends I'll just try and cram a load of videos in on Saturday and a Sunday, or if there's any sort of holidays like Christmas time, I'd do a load of videos and get it done, bulk through them. I was working really long hours, we both were, and it was pretty tiring. But anyway, so longer story shorter, if I can, yeah, the BBC thing all fell apart. I was on sick leave. I said, look, I'm still doing YouTube. You're not going to stop me doing that. Like, the only thing keeping me semi-sane at the moment is working towards some kind of resolution for my family life. So you're not taking that away from me. I'm going to carry on doing my YouTube videos.
You went to occupational health and they said...
Yeah. Went to occupational health at the bequest of the BBC. And,
told you where to go.
and the occupational health people said, you need to get the BBC to sort this. It's due to their lack of management. It's just like, right, I agree entirely. So I went back to them and they said, well, we think you should see another workplace therapist because we want a different answer. We didn't like that answer. We want another answer. So we want to send you somewhere else. And it's like, just no, we're not playing this game. So anyway, we carried on making the videos. It carried on. Kath actually got a job locally in a local coffee shop. And in the Harvester's restaurant, which was quite punishing. And I was still doing the videos then. I think it was around about that time we got in touch with Brian from Brytech Computers, or Brytech 09. And we were chatting, and then we sort of set up our Discord channels and what have you. I think it was that time we were about 7,000 or 8,000 subscribers, so things had moved on a little bit. We were growing. And I suppose it wasn't too long after that there was a few things in tech which got better. So the AM4 platform got better and more approachable, and people were starting to get a bit more interested in computers again after the kind of AM3 era where people weren't interested. So the channel was growing quite nicely, getting a little bit of momentum, which was always nice to see. Somewhere in the region of about 500 subs a month or something. It was quite nice. It was growing quite well. And then of course we got to the point where the human malware kicked in, and then the channel just went nuts because people were spending a lot more time at home. Couldn't really do that because of the lockdowns and what have you, so people were tuning into Mike's Unboxing. The Discord had got to a point where it had grown quite a bit then. We had quite a few members, and I think in that time when COVID hit and everybody was very kind of unsure, scared, concerned, worried, whatever it was, a lot of people just didn't know where to go, what to do, who to turn to, because all the usual stuff like your pubs, clubs and stuff are all closed. So we found a lot of people find us from obviously from YouTube videos, people watching that and then joining a Discord. And I've got to say the Discord community, it started out as a very cool community, and it's just become a much larger, cooler Discord community. We've got somewhere in the region of about 3,500 members now, which not everyone is in there all the time, obviously, because people come and go. But most months I go through and do a purge. So any accounts which haven't been accessed in the last 30 days or 28 days or whatever it is in the Discord thing, I kick them off anyway. So those are relatively genuine numbers of people which actually have either been or are active on the server. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. And yeah, you get the occasional lunatic nutcase person dropping spams and all that, but overall it's a really nice place to be. And generally people are all really kind and considerate. We have got our mental health room as well, which is something which we all suffer from mental health in some way, shape or form. It's one of those things. Well, I don't think we suffer from mental health as such. We suffer from having to live in this world and what this world does to us mentally. So I personally don't believe that mental health is something which you have in you. I think it's something which is kind of thrust upon you from your surroundings, and it's what makes you feel like it. I could be wrong. I don't know. But that's just my opinion. I think it's basically us trying to deal with the world that is around us and the things that we see that we maybe don't agree with or can't fathom or just don't understand. There's a lot of that going on. It does affect you at quite a deep level. And people get really depressed, especially this time of year. It's winter for us here in the northern hemisphere. So colder nights, longer, darker days, etc. People just get down. They want to see a bit of sunshine. They want to have a bit of positivity in their lives. And I think for a large number of people, the Discord and the YouTube channel in general has been one of those places where people have found other people with similar lifestyle choices and views and opinions and hobbies and all that kind of stuff that they're into. And it's very cool. There's a very, very diverse range of people from pretty much every country I've ever considered or thought about, and all the time zones on the planet. And basically, yeah, all ages, all races, colours, creeds, religions, you name it. Pretty much there's a bit of everything. I'm just going to put a link in the chat for the Discord, just in case you haven't been there and you're not a member of our Discord, which you're more than welcome to do so. The technical support bit as well is getting to the point now where it's getting pretty full on. With these modern AM5 platforms and the Intel LGA stuff, we're starting to see a big increase of people looking for help with no boot situations or no displays. Yes, Kath?
You ought to also say that I've kind of got myself better.
Oh yeah. Going back to that, so we had the massive growth in the COVID era, and we kind of thought, we looked at the stats and it was kind of like, you had these few little dips and bumps, but generally it was on an upward trajectory. And then all of a sudden you had this COVID thing happen, and it was like, aim for the sky. And then when that all kind of tapered off, and it's like, right, so it had a bit of a dip straight away when people got back to their lives. But then I expected it to kind of carry on going down and maybe flatlining or something, but it didn't. For some reason, you crazy kids out there in YouTube land and also on the Discord, maybe you've seen something on this channel which, not on the keyboard, Maisie, thank you. Maybe you've seen something you like or you can relate to, I don't know what it is. I try and keep it as real as possible. We don't do all flashy stuff and we don't spend hundreds of thousands of pounds on computer stuff and all that stuff. It's just trying to keep it real. And in fact, in the Discord, there's a sub-channel thing called Keeping It Real, where the mental health is, because I think that's what it's all about. You've got to try and be a little bit sensible. Like, yeah, there's channels that do all the crazy stuff and water cooling and hundreds of thousands of pounds on a PC. That's great. If that's what your thing is, love it. You watch it.
We just have cats.
We just have cats and crappy computer parts, generally. So we're all good. But anyway, so that went on. The channel carried on growing. Not to the same extent it did when COVID first kicked in, but still some steady growth, which was really encouraging for us to carry on doing what we're doing. And in the same time, we were looking into potential things that Kath could do to help her. One of which was she changed jobs from the Harvesters restaurant, which was pretty punishing, to a local coffee shop in our local area. And because that was less money and YouTube wasn't really pulling in a great deal, I actually took a job locally in a place called Motor Parts, which used to be called Motorman back in the day. In the 1990s, when I first left school, that was my first job, working in Motorman. And then to go off and do all these other jobs and then come back to basically do what I did when I left school was kind of weird, but
Go for an interview.
It was nice. I went to the interview. The plan was I went to the interview and I was planning to wear a shirt and tie, as you do for interviews. And the morning of the interview, I'd forgotten that no, this is before COVID. Yeah. Basically, I've been sat in front of my computer for a while whilst not being at BBC making videos, and I put on a bit of weight. So I went to go to this interview, went to put on my suit, and there's just no way I was going to shoehorn myself into that. It just wasn't happening, couldn't fit into it. So literally, I thought, right, sod it. I put on my Mike's Unboxing t-shirt, put on my Mike's Unboxing jeans, put on my trainers, and I basically went to the interview. And I said, the first thing I said for the interview, I said, before you say anything, I just want to apologise to you. I was planning on wearing a shirt and a tie and a suit to give the right overall effect, but unfortunately, I'm too fat. And I think that's what swung it. I think that's what got me my old job back. So yeah, did that. That was before COVID kicked in, so I was full time in motor parts. Kath was working across the road 3 or 4 days a week in the coffee shop, and 2 days in another one. And then COVID kicked in, and then basically, yeah, I went down to like 3 days a week, then 2 days a week, then just working on Sunday. And Kath, basically, both her jobs kind of just filtered out, and that was kind of it. So at that point, we had to make YouTube work, and it had to pay the bills. And I'll be honest with you, there's been some moments where it's been very, very squeaky bum time. Like very squeaky bum. But we are fortunate, and we do lead a very frugal life. We don't have a lot. We don't use the car hardly at all. We don't turn the electricity on unless we absolutely need it. So we basically, yeah, that's basically kind of where we are. Kath was looking into other therapies and natural remedies and what have you to help with her symptoms, because she was prescribed Cinemet. Yeah, she was prescribed to be taking Cinemet, which is basically a Parkinson's drug, and it's only got a kind of limited lifespan of how many years you can take it for before your body starts to either not respond to it or it just rejects it flat out, in which case then you are screwed. There's nothing left for you. So Kath's been looking into other more natural herbs, therapies, tinctures, treatments, you name it, whatever. And happy to say, as of probably 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years, basically no real symptoms, unless she gets really stressed out, in which case a few of them do crop back up again.
Don't want to ask you to open a can of Coke.
Yeah, don't ask her to open a can of Coke if she's stressed out, because it's just going to be going everywhere. Sorry, we make light of it, but yeah. For anyone wondering, no, cannabis has not been part of that agenda. If you're wondering, no, that's something that we've actually both left far behind us for many years now. In fact,
it was 6
probably
months after giving up.
Yes.
I got ill.
Yeah, Kath got ill shortly after we gave up, so that would have been about 8 years ago.
2015.
8-9 years ago. So yeah, anyway. So it's
So I'd say.
David Underhill says this: naturopathy yes, aromatherapy yes, but homeopathic remedies are a total scam. I would disagree, because we have used homeopathic remedies on Kath, and also George, our son, who is autistic, and he didn't even know what he was taking and still improved. So
He didn't know, he was too young.
if he was too young to know what he was taking, how is it possible that he could change as dramatically as he did at the time if it's a scam?
And even if it's placebo,
Yeah.
who cares if it's...
Yeah, and even if if he knew about it and it was a placebo or whatever, placebo effect or none, if you feel better or you feel happier, if it's placebo, does it really matter what it is?
And also,
don't know.
I didn't really use homeopathy for myself much.
Yeah, Kath didn't really use
Not for
homeopathy.
that.
It was more
Herbs.
and
And
I'm trying to think what the other.
it was this, wasn't it, which we're not allowed to say.
Yeah, we're not allowed to say. There's another chemical which we're not allowed to say.
All natural.
There's a super chat coming in from O'Reilly. Thank you very much for the £10 there. Well done, Kath. Keep it up and keep chilled. Be like the bamboo tree, shimmy in the wind. I shimmy in the wind when she lets one rip.
Oh, you're horrible to me.
James says happy Kath is healthy. Yeah. We all are. We all are. Bob says I hate placebo. The cure is way better. It is. And Bob says whatever works for a person is Coolio in my book. Yeah, exactly. I would never.
You read this?
Oh yeah, and
It's all little things.
many little things we did. The Q links as well. These helped me. I would say more than it helped Kath. And again, whether that was
Still wear it.
whether it's placebo or not, I don't know. I was getting to the point where believe it or not, you might find this hard to believe, but anyone who's met me in real life will know that I'm a extremely shy person. I really struggle with social contact, like massively, to a massive degree. And working in the shop full time when it was, for me, after being like stuck at the computer doing video editing at home whilst on the sick for best part of probably a year, maybe slightly more than that, I'm not sure, I think it's about a year, and kind of isolating myself, and then having to go into work in a very small shop where there's kind of like only 2 people working, and it's very full on, you're very in people's faces, and you have to deal with people every day. I struggled. I genuinely struggled. And I used to get quite panicky. Even though I'm like a 40-year-old man, for Christ's sake, I would just get panicky. Social anxiety would just kick in, and I just freaked me out. And when I saw Casey review the Q-Link on his channel, Vegetable Police, and he found benefits, and he said it had a very calming effect, well, I thought, well, what the hell, I'm going to try it. And I got one for me, one for Kath, one for George, one for Angel, one for Michael as well. And of the 5 of us, I think then, at least 3 of us found a benefit. So I think that's pretty good. Me, probably the most. I was great. This was my armour. I'd go into the shop and I was all good. And I just felt confident. Again, it's probably his placebo, but I don't care. It made me feel good, so I did.
Harvey's in. Show him you still use it.
Harvey Linden says, hello, where's the award? Well done again. Harvey Linden actually made these glass Mike's Unboxing keychains.
Is that one flat battery?
This one's got the flat batteries in, unfortunately. One of them I did smash. I accidentally dropped it and it smashed the glass. But I've still got the other 2 actually in there, because there's 4 I think in total. Yeah, let me give you a close-up actually. So that was a very, very early gift. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, is that ran the wrong way? Oh, I'm useless. Right, there we go. Try to get an angle so you can actually see it. Oh, there we go. You can almost see it there.
Put that behind it.
That might work. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, so it says Mike's Unboxing, engraved in the glass, like the middle layer or something. It's pretty cool.
I'm sorry, Harvey.
Sorry, Harvey. Yeah, I didn't whack. Harvey said actually, if I get to 100 subscribers, will you wax your balls on stream? I nearly agreed to that at that time. Glenn says 420. That's my stance. I think we know what he means there. Thank you, Glenn. Much appreciated. Bob says 40. Well, it's got a 4 in it. What more do you want? Jinx Corma, massive well done, Mikey and Kath. You're both the best. Looking forward to many more great years. Thank you very much. So, yeah, so basically where we are today, as of now, the channel's still growing. We're actually growing now more than we were before. We're averaging somewhere around about 2,000 subscribers a month, which is phenomenal. So that should be another, what, 25,000-ish a year, hopefully. So yeah, some nice steady growth. We're not pushing ourselves to, we're not doing any advertising or anything like that. We're not selling out, we're not taking sponsorships and stuff like that. Just keeping it real. Like I said, there's no point pushing things to a point, like, literally, this is my dining room. Some of you have seen it. This is my dining room.
Harvey says if he said that, he was obviously drunk.
Oh, I was, yeah.
He didn't say it. You actually typed on a comment. Look at the waxing one.
Yeah, look at the waxing stream. You'll see it. Yeah, it's basically, this is our living room, and we deal with that. I'm not going to be creating some kind of wacky testing studio thing. I can't see that ever happening, because the whole point of doing what we do is the fact that we can have the comfort of working from home. So if for any reason, if Kath relapses, or I get ill, or something happens to the kids, or the cat has 3 fucking kittens, then I'm available. Well, we're available. We're on hand. So it's yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, at the moment, Kath's healthy, I'm healthy, George is healthy, Angel's healthy, the cats are healthy-ish. Maisie is not too bad, but she is sitting on a motherboard which has been purchased, which luckily I've unboxed already, so it doesn't matter if it gets dirty. So yeah, we're doing good, and we've just, this month so far, We are currently in, I think it's 931,000 views this month. So we're almost getting to that thing where we're getting 1 million views a month, which was something which at the peak of COVID, the first year, we were really close to getting that 1 million views a month. And that was something which I did actually want. That was something that was like, oh, we were so close. I think we got to like 990,000 views. It's like, come on, 10,000 more views just to get that 1 million. That'd be absolutely amazing. And of course, after COVID, it all tapered off. Every Christmas, every December, it starts getting up towards that kind of 800,000, 900,000. So yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool, the fact that there's a lot of people out there which find the videos actually helpful. We're not planning or trying to build this big global empire or anything like that. Literally, it's just making videos because I've come from the same place where I've wanted to do something. I've got no clue how to do it. So what do we all do? You go onto Google, you type it in, and you end up on YouTube and you find a video which helps you. Now, some of those videos are good. Some of those videos are less good. Some of them are excellent. And hopefully the majority that we do are in the good to excellent range.
Harvey?
Harvey said, do you have merch links around? Yes. Sort of. If you've lost a t-shirt,
if he's ever around,
yeah, if you're ever around, just drop by. We'll sort you out a t-shirt.
have a hat as well.
Or just or Harvey, just drop me an email or something. We'll figure that out. We'll sort it out. Darren says, congrats Mike and Kath on the 100k. Thank you. JB, thank you JB. Good to see you in the chat. Merry Christmas, Mike, Kath, Angel, George and Cats. Thank you again for all you do. You're very welcome. Very welcome indeed. And thank you so much for the super chat. It's very kind of you. You guys are all kind. It's
Thanks to them.
It's basically it's thanks to you guys that
You've all got the 100k.
we do. Yes, it's not really our channel. It's your channel. We are somewhat behest to what you enjoy. Although saying that, like I said, most of the videos are things that just if I do something which I think is helpful or might help someone else, or I think that my opinion might be helpful for someone else to make a buying decision, then I'm going to go ahead and do it. And that's what we do. David Under says, start dropping and breaking things, then you'll end up bigger than Linus Sebastian. That is true. I do drop things, but generally not so much on camera. Hello, James Miscellaneous as well. How you doing? Let's have a look through the chat now. Right, let's get this thing open. Let's have a look, see what it's all about. So this is the YouTube silver play button, as you'd expect. This is literally how it comes. So shipped from California or wherever it came from. There was a sticker on the front that just said, or was it on the back? I think the sticker was on the front just saying our address. So obviously I've peeled that off. But other than that, that is it. That is how it comes from America. So let's...
Apart from some kitten scratches on it.
Yeah, a few kitten scratches and a bit of dust. Let's... I'll put Discord link in. And let's go to the overhead. Well, actually, let's go to overhead. And we'll have a party blooper. Pooper blooper.
Harvey's found the wax video and it was 150 subs.
Oh, it was 150 subs, was it?
Years ago. Good going to 100k.
Excellent stuff. Right, let's clear that super chat off. Thank you very much, James. Is that gone? Yeah, there we go. So, here it is. The moment of truth. There's very few things, really, that make you kind of stop and think about what you do on YouTube. Because a lot of it is very much like a sausage factory. You're kind of constantly churning out content, depending on the sort of stuff you do. Now, because we're doing like tech stuff and reviewing products and keeping up with technology, it's a constant treadmill, whatever. It's a constant journey of basically just churning out reviews, because almost a couple of days after you've recorded it, it's almost out of date. So you've kind of got to keep up with it. And yeah, it's things like this. When you get it, it kind of makes you just stop and think a little bit about what you're doing and where you're headed, and kind of making it all slightly more worthwhile. And it's just basically a sign of you've achieved something. Like, even though internally I don't feel I've got to prove anything or to achieve anything, but when you get something like this come through, it's just really nice that, yeah, I've got something that actually says you've achieved something. So we've got some foam on here. Let's get rid of that. So inside here, first of all, we have a letter on actually very expensive cardstock. Rather than being just cheap A4 paper, I'm going to...
Can you tell what it is yet?
So let me see if I can zoom in on that for you so you can read it. Although most of you probably read this stuff before, so... Oh, that's the wrong way. That's the opposite of zoom. There you go.
I think you will, O'Reilly. Frame it.
I think I will frame it, yeah. So it says there from YouTube, do you remember your first subscriber? Yes, I do, because it was Kath. Do you remember your 100th? Probably not so much. Or the 1000th. I don't know who that was either. You don't really know, do you?
No, they keep, it's only
It's all secret.
public.
Yeah.
No.
Chances are you do. No, I don't. And we know you'll definitely remember your 100,000th. No, I don't. Your fans may have found you while searching YouTube, learned about you through a friend, or maybe showed up as a recommended video. No matter how they came to your channel, your audience stayed and their numbers increased because of you and the community you've built. We've built. We're proud to honor your impressive milestone of reaching 100,000 subscribers with the Silver Creator Award. Congratulations. We know that you have many more stories to share with your community, and we know your fans can't wait for you to amaze them even more with your commitment and creativity. So keep creating, keep building. We can't wait to see what you'll do next, and we're here to support you along the way. And who knows,
Your money.
when you reach your 1,000,000th subscriber, we may just write to you and ask, do you remember your 100,000th subscriber? Yours sincerely, Neil Mohan, YouTube CEO. It's a blank screen, can't see it.
No.
Thank you very much, Nick Barnes, for the PayPal £10. Thank you very much. He says, fabulous achievement, great channel, great hosts, Merry Xmas to all your family.
Sorry, I had to scroll up.
And also, in the package, is that going to focus at some point? Come on, focus. There we go. Congratulations on your subscriber milestone. We are honoured to take part in recognising your achievement and want your experience to be exceptional. This award was inspected and packaged with great care by Rick H. If your award was damaged during shipping or you have any other questions, please contact us at youtubecreator@societyrewards.com. There you go. What? Come on, autofocus, you can do it. Maybe you can't. Okay.
If you were starting the channel today, would you pick a shorter name, Chris Hartford?
That is a very good question, actually. Would I choose a shorter name? I have and ad about it to be just Mike's Unboxing. But I think the reviews and how-to thing actually is helpful for telling people actually what the channel is about. It literally says what we do.
Rick liked you added age. Sorry.
Yeah, thanks for that, Rick H. Yeah, I think Mike's Unboxing would have been a better way of doing it. But I didn't want to niche myself or the channel into just being an unboxing channel, because we do so much more than that, like unboxing YouTube awards. Anyway, so there is the YouTube award. So let's have a look at, here is the actual thing itself. So let's pull that out of there. It's actually quite heavy. Recognise your team. So share the recognition by allowing your team to purchase a personalised creator award. So you can actually purchase these after you've been awarded one. So if you've got a team of people that work with you, you can actually have one. And there we go. There it is. And there's the camera on the ceiling. You can see it in the play button. So there you go. This is presented to Mike's Unboxing, Reviews and How To for passing 100,000 subscribers from YouTube.
Who used to put that? The mic, the sun and the boxing.
Quite a few people.
I like that.
It's good.
It's so cool.
So there we go. And it is actually, is it magnetic? That's the question. No. Well, actually, it is a little bit. Oh, it feels like it's metal. It's quite thick. And on the back, there's some hanging hooks, which is unfortunate because it's not a middle one. Because I wanted it to hang in a specific place, so I'm going to have to put some things in the wall. But there you go. There is the play button, the silver play button, presented to Mike's Unboxing, Reviews and How To for passing 100,000 subscribers. Joe P says, okay, when you're ordering calves and the cats. I might do that. I'm tempted, because I do want one to be here in the studio, but I quite like to have one in the front room as well, next to my thermal take award. Getting a nice little awards cabinet thing going on. I think it is an alloy. Maybe it's aluminium. I think it'll be aluminium or aluminum for our American friends. It's actually really heavy. Alright, says, ooh, high risk of calf's face on the camera. No, she's way too far away.
And you did actually get it from the postman in your pants.
I did actually get this from the postman in my pants. The doorbell went and I was like in bed and the doorbell went and was like, oh God, who's that going to be? So I quickly went downstairs and kind of, I had a t-shirt on, didn't have some pants on but not my trousers. And yeah, just opened the door, sort of peeked my head round, like Shaun of the Dead. It was very good. Captain White's £2 says 100k, 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 yay! Thank you very much. So yeah, there it is. There is the Mike's Unboxing silver play button. I still don't really know where I'm going to put it. I did want to put it there. I think that'd be. I can't see what it looks like on the stream because the stream's not caught up. I don't know whether it's. I don't know whether it just looks a bit too much there. I don't know. I kind of like the contrast of the blackboard up there. No doubt I will decide at some point.
Where the lamp used to be.
Yeah. That's a bit big, isn't it? It's a bit gaudy. It's a nice thing to have.
Get me, mightn't it, there?
I'm going to put it back in here for now because I don't know where it's new. It needs to be on your back wall, Mike. Definitely on show for all to admire. I do kind of like the idea of having it behind the desk here. I think that would be the best place for it.
Hang it in the bog. It'd double the value of our bathroom.
It would. I can tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to upset the neighbours and I'm going to get the nails out and I'm going to hammer a nail in. That'll upset them.
It's not gaudy. It's a well-deserved reward.
It's a bit gaudy for the area it's going in because it's a bit of a shithole here at the moment. To be fair. I'll say I am pleased that we've got it. It's nice that we've hit that milestone, but it isn't something which I've ever had any real aspirations for. There's a super chat from someone. Viali, £2. Thank you very much, Viali. Or Viali 100, I should say. So yay, well done and well deserved. Bless you. That is very kind. Very kind of you, sir. There. Hang it on the wall next to the chalkboard. I don't think I'd get them both in. I would.
It needs to be in the middle, really, doesn't it?
Yeah. If I get that, yeah, because that's way too wide. I could get it there, but it'll be a bit covered up by the old screen. So I'm gonna bang some nails in. I've literally got nails and a hammer, and I'm gonna make some noise. But I'm going to have to...
Well, because the kittens might be knocking that off.
Yeah. Well, so that's about there. I'm going to do it by eye. So if it's on the piss, I have no one to blame other than myself. Let's say about there. Mike's Unboxing, nail banging and reviews.com.
Captain I vote to change the channel name to Mike's Unboxing Reviews and how not to.
That's not a bad idea. Hey, look at that. That's almost level. How's that look? Is that bang tidy? I can move that over a bit now. Don't know where I'm going to put the patience you must learn now. It's a bit upsetting.
Just noticed the GPU's gone off the wall.
Christ, that's been long gone. There we go. See, it's in the way of my head. No, my head's in the way of it. I don't know why I'm still wearing a hat.
If I unfollow you now, do you have to send it back to YouTube?
If over 1,000 of you now cancel, then it's going back. Well, I'm going to put that in there. Who's that? Stuart Cleary, thank you very much for your PayPal donation, £30. Says congratulations, Mike and Kath.
That's it.
Oh, that's it. All right, cool. Thank you. I can't see all the messages on the screen, but thank you, Stuart. That's much appreciated. God bless you. So there we go. There we have it. Mike's Unboxing officially has been recognised for something. Level, nicely done. It's not central. Piss off. No, it's not actually, is it? It's not even straight, I don't think. Oh, that'll do. It's fine. Let's have a drink. Probably notice as well, I'm wearing a thermal t-shirt again. It's thermal t-shirts. If you haven't got one, they're bloody great. I wish I'd have gone over to them years ago.
I've been telling you, and you're going to get your trousers, aren't you? You thought that was a set.
I was supposed to get thermal long john trousers as well, but for some reason they didn't turn up. Baby.
No, you ordered the wrong thing. Come on. But then postman would be so shocked by you in the mornings.
Dave Anderson says 101k subs, 88 watching and only 21 likes. Come on guys, get your friends to watch. The thing is with this, the live stream as well, especially, is firstly the stream is at the very, very wrong time of the day. So we're basically missing kind of almost all of the UK people, or at least the ones that have somewhat of a life, or go out or work, whatever. Yeah, the timing for our streams has never been great. The streams actually do a lot better after, because the most people that watch it from different time zones or are busy or whatever. So yeah, the whole stream thing was one of those daft things that I always wanted it to be like a late night thing, but for my own reasons, because it suited with what I was doing, so I didn't have to do stuff during the day that would interrupt it. So this is kind of like my free time. Yeah.
Stephen Underhill, try watching at 7 AM Sunday morning.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That is when it is now.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. But again, that's why we've got quite a big, or not as big a viewership as we probably could have. If we started like 2 in the afternoon here, UK time, I think it would be a lot better for those elsewhere, and possibly in the UK as well.
Why is the stream not in the notification?
It should be. Yeah, it's down to YouTube, to be honest with you. YouTube are kind of funny with that at times. Like sometimes they'll send out a notification, sometimes they won't. It's very weird. Yeah, James says I can't watch the live stream often. Usually I have my son and have to get stuff done on weekends. Exactly. Yeah. Monday through Friday, I aim to do at least one video a day.
We have an awakey, should we?
Possibly 2 if I can. Saturday I'd try and do 1 video if I can, and the live stream. All right, Dave. How's it going, mate?
He's grown a bit.
Not the keyboard. Let's turn that off. Dave's grown. He's massive. There's Poppy.
She's nearly as big as him.
You can sit on there. Can you smell katsu curry? It wasn't made out of cats,
Come on, Babs.
I think.
There's Dave.
Dave,
Dave's here.
go on, son. Stretch it out. Cat stretch. Into, don't eat the cables. Dave!
There he is. He's being naughty again, Pops.
I kill you. Poppy, I've heard of your son. Yeah, he's being
Blank him.
a nose. YouTube.com says, oh no, that's... Why do you sit on the keyboard? I sit on the cat scratching thing.
Oh, nails down a blackboard.
Oh, she likes that. You're going to be all chalky on you. Maisie, Dave. Dave, Maisie.
He likes Maisie. They've got the same fur.
They are very similar fur. Right, let's delete whatever he's been writing in there. Cancel that. Colin Hilton's in the chat as well. How you doing, Colin? Good.
Colin's been there for ages.
I know, I just don't notice that because it's hard for me to see the...
Yeah, they all get along.
That's right, Poppy. We're going to Dagobah. They look like real cats now, they do. Especially Dave. Dave. Yo. No, that isn't like the attack signal. Maybe it is. Dave? Hello, Dave? Hello, Dave? Dave? Can you do the attack? That's the attack sign. Used to work for your mum. She's going nuts at that.
Oh, tell Harvey white shit died. Davy Jones is a reincarnated Daisy.
I think he probably heard that.
Davy Jones.
David James says, "Why the hell is that cat? Why the hell?"
Is that cat called Dave? Maybe.
Oh, right.
And this one's Otis.
There's Otis. Turn the keyboard off. Otis, can you do attack? No.
Are you getting up as well?
Too early for
Come
you?
on then.
Oh, he's tired.
Good.
Otis, say hello to the ladies and gentlemen. And
this is
there's Candy. You're all tired, aren't you? Gosh darn it. Right. Give me bloody car keys back. I don't even know where they came from. Somewhere in there, I suppose. Okay. Right. So, moving onward. Stuart Cleary says, the Creator Award looks great behind you, Mike. Well done. Thank you, Stuart. Emotep look mad now. Rick H says, Dave's not here. Oh, yeah. Where is Dave, by the way? Don't know. Probably up to his eyes in diapers, i.e. nappies. James says, where are all these cats coming from? Is this Gremlins? Spill some water on Poppy. God, no. Don't want any more. Don't want any more, do we? You lunatics. It's bedlam. It really is bedlam.
At times.
I actually, genuinely, I was very, very close to crying today. Out of pure frustration. I've had to sellotape wires to the wall to stop the cats from chewing them. That's why the Superman logo is no longer here, because they chewed through the power pack cable, so I need to repair that. I keep on coming in and finding them all climbing at the back of all these wires. You'll see there's a bit of wallpaper missing there. And Yeah, I'm terrified to put anything expensive or that can't be replaced on the display now, because if they chew through it, it's basically dead.
And they're Poppy's babies, basically.
Yeah, they're all Poppy's babies. That's not Poppy's baby, that's Flame's mum. It's very, very strange going on here. It looks
might
like
not be as much on here. now.
Dave Aiken's not on Discord either. I know. Yeah, maybe he's, I don't know, might be away.
He might have gone for his works do or something.
Yeah, works do, probably out on the lather. David Andrew says, my boy tries to yawn and me out at the same time, nearly puts his jaw out.
Poppy does actually, doesn't she?
James says, Google News, YouTuber reaches 100k subs torn apart during celebratory live stream by rabid felines. Yes, probably not too far off that.
Thought we might hit 100k cats before we hit subs.
Cool. David says, try owning pet rats like my wife did, chewed everything in the place. Oh my God. Riley says, lol, sorry Mike, I'm laughing at your suffering. It was, honestly, when there's 3 cats to look after, like 1 kitten on its own is pretty hard work for most people, but 3 at the same time, especially if you work from home, and having electrics and all that kind of stuff is not the easiest thing to do. So like the camera's got at least 2 wires coming from it, the monitor got all the plugs behind there, got keyboards, mice, there's wires dangling everywhere. And I can understand it, because that's what cats they didn't know the difference, they didn't know if it's something electrical or a bit of string or whatever. So it's yeah, it's just the way it is. But it's super frustrating. I actually, Maisie, I need that box really. Can you put her in that box?
Try.
Mabes, go move you a minute, all right?
Put you up on the table still if you want, but we can go behind the screen.
Oh my God, I'm gonna do my back in. Got her?
Yeah.
Well done.
Okay, now mates.
Right. So this motherboard has a slightly interesting story. And when I say slightly, I mean it's not really. Oh, it's on your chair.
It's Dave playing with his mouse. Not Dave. Otis.
Need some cable armor. Yeah. I was going to put some, I'm actually going to get some trunking.
Or some ceiling hooks for them.
Or yeah. Or just elastics and go, ding, get back. Yeah, this motherboard, Z790 Gaming plus Wi-Fi. Now, my video editing PC is currently a B760 Tomahawk Wi-Fi DDR4, which actually came from MSI. No, tell a lie. No, I bought that. MSI gave me the processor. That's right. So yeah, I bought that motherboard. MSI gave me the processor. And it's been a really good platform, but it's on DDR4, so I'm not quite getting the best out of the processor that I could do. And I have been meaning to upgrade it to DDR5. I think DDR5 is going to be the future, whether we like it or not. Also, good friends over at Lexar. Oh God, I need to stand up. There we go. Oh, it's all going to fall off the shelf. Right. So previously, Lexar sent over these, which was the Ares DDR4. This is a 16 gig kit. That was really nice RAM. It's actually still in there because I don't really want to put it in anything, because I'll end up giving it away or doing something with it. But they've actually sent through this. So this is their new DDR5 RAM. This is a 32 gig stick. 32 gig kit over 2 sticks. XMP speeds on this 6400 megatransfers per second, and actually got really tight timings as well, considering it is 6400. I think this is 3236, if I remember rightly. It's actually on the stick itself, I'll have to have a look at it, but yeah. So actually quite tight timings. If you look at a lot of the cheaper stuff on the market, like the Corsair LPX DDR5 or the Vengeance LPX DDR5, that stuff is normally quite cheap, but it's also like quite high latency. So it's 5600 or 6000 megatransfers, but it's like CL40 or something, or CL38, which isn't great. It's a little bit too high latency, makes it actually then slower than DDR4 would have been if you do all the kind of calculations. But something else which Lexar have done on this, and I don't know whether they've done it as a happy coincidence or not, but they've actually used Hynix A die, which at the moment, the Hynix A die RAM for DDR5 is some of the best you can get in terms of reliability, speed, latency, and overclocking ability as well. So Lexar Aries DDR5 RGB kit, keep a lookout for it, because this actually is some of the cheapest RGB DDR5 RAM that you can actually buy on the market at the moment. This kit, I believe, comes in about £109, which for 6400 RAM is really cheap, like really cheap. This is when I looked into it about a week ago when they sent it. But it's actually very nice looking RAM. They do it in black and they do it in white. And also I think there is a 64 gig kit as well. But it's actually very nice RAM, nice heat spreaders. The diffuser on them is excellent. Very nicely diffused RAM, so you can't see the individual RGBs, etc, etc. And the timings are, actually I'll put it in front of the camera so you can see it yourself. Hopefully that's going to focus. So yeah, it's good gear. So yeah, 32... Christ, where's my magnifying glass? So yeah, 32, 38, 38 at 1.4 volts. So that's pretty nice. Pretty nice stuff. So, so Lexar sent this RAM over. Extremely kind of them. Thank you very much, Lexar. And so far, it's the only RAM that I've found which actually just works. Like, you plug it into any system at all, and it just goes, oh yeah, XMP, great. These are the settings. Let's reboot. Really good stuff. And bizarrely, like, super cheap. So I don't know if it's going to stay cheap or whether it's going to magically get more expensive all of a sudden because of how good it is. But I don't think they realise that the Hynix A die is as sought after as it seems to be, going from forums and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. So Toge is saying it's says £118 for the kit on Amazon. So that's not bad. If you think about what DDR4 is at the moment, if you went for like the high spec stuff, so probably what, 42 to 66 megahertz, you're going to be looking about 50 to 60 quid for a 16 gig kit. So the fact this is a 32 gig kit, I think £118 or so, 120 quid, even if you say £60 for like a decent 16 gig kit. I think the prices have come down sufficiently enough with this now to make it like a viable choice. And if you went to buy a 32 gig kit of decent DDR4, you're probably still going to be paying about £80, 70, £80. So it isn't that much more expensive, but you do have the benefit of being a much newer platform, and this is going to last for, well, a considerable amount of time. So very pleased that that came through, but then that gave me with a quandary. Now, DDR5 6400 isn't really ideal for the Ryzen 5 platform, the AM5 platform. AM5 likes to be 6,000 mega transfers. That's the kind of sweet spot. You can go slightly over. Some people have got to 64, but your mileage varies due to the memory controller, the tracks on the boards, etc, etc. So really for Intel, it's a little bit of an easier thing to do. Intel supports up to like 72 or 7600 already. So I thought, right, I'll upgrade my platform. So I bought another motherboard, which is actually in the other room, boxed up, because it's basically dead. So I've got the MSI Z690 Tomahawk Wi-Fi DDR5, so Z690 chipset, on the top of the range. It was a warehouse deal. I've actually done the unboxing for it. I've done the BIOS flash on it as well, because it appears to work. But when I came to doing the swap, because I thought I'll do the BIOS flash first, I'll record the video because someone's going to want to do it at some point. So then I transferred all the stuff over because I assumed it worked because it did the BIOS flash and all that. I put it in there and it wouldn't boot. It wouldn't boot for love nor money. The diagnostic DLED would go CPU DRAM, CPU DRAM, CPU DRAM, CPU DRAM, then stay on DRAM. I thought, that's all right, it's memory training. So I went off, go to the toilet, make a cup of tea, blah, blah, blah. Come back, still nothing on the screen. It's like, what is going on here? So tried a different set of RAM, exactly the same results. So I was like, right, the area is fine, as I figured anyway. And various different testing things, testing out different mounting pressure on the CPU cooler. And that actually did change what the diagnostic D-LED did. So I was like, right, maybe I'm onto something here. Because if the D-LEDs changed due to mounting pressure, there's something going on with the pins, I'm sure. So I took it all out, cleaned all the pins, cleaned the underside of the processor, did all that stuff, and still nothing at all. Like, what the hell's going on? So thinking back to what we talk about on Discord all the time, I thought, right, I'll take out one stick of RAM, I'll have one stick and I'll try in all 4 slots and see what happens. First slot, same thing again. Second slot, same again as expected. Third slot, same again. Fourth slot, actually got it to post. So I was like, right, okay. So 3 RAM slots don't work. 1 does. Now bear in mind, this board is an Amazon warehouse return. So you kind of at the back of your mind thinking, well, what? It looks okay. Why did they return it? And it's all becoming slightly more relevant and obvious as time goes on. So then got another RAM stick, tried it in all the slots, and only slot 4 would work. I think slot 3 did once or twice. And I'm thinking, like, what is going on here? So I tried all different types of variations of mounting pressure on the socket. I actually tried it with the mounting frame on it that we got from Rick H. I tried it without the mounting frame, with the standard Intel one on there, and it didn't really change a great deal. So basically got to the point where I thought, right, let's see what we can do. Flash the BIOS a couple of times from inside the BIOS, when it got actually in the BIOS. And every time I set the fan curves, because as most of you know, most MSI boards, when they start off, the fans just ramp up to the fastest speed. When it kicks into Windows, it normally goes down a little bit. But these were just full blast. So in order to hear myself think, I changed all the fan settings and then clicked on save, exit, reboot, and the fans would go back to how they were. And if I turned on XMP would turn itself off. But it would retain some settings, but not all of them. So I was getting really confused with this. And after about 3 hours, it's like, this just isn't happening, is it? So I had to take it all back out again, put my other motherboard back in, tidy it all back up, get it all working, and then do the return. So that motherboard is in there. So that was £120, I think, 124, 120, something along those lines. So at that point then, I'm like, I want to do this upgrade. I really need to do it. So I've been looking yesterday for a motherboard to suitably replace what I had in there. And the best I could come up with was this. MSI's Z790 Gaming Plus Wi-Fi. Now this isn't a perfect board, but it's at a price which is a little bit mouth-watering, but also a little bit wallet-wrenching at the same time. So this costs about £180 at the moment in the UK.
That's why you were really wanting to cry.
That's why I wanted to cry, yeah, spending money.
Blaming the kid.
So, yeah, 180-ish pounds. Ideally, in the perfect world, I would have preferred to have the Z790 Z790 Tomahawk. That was the one I actually had my mind set on, but that is 250 odd pounds. This is 180. So £70 difference. You get 2 less phases for VRM. So this is a 14 plus 1 plus 1. The Tomahawk is a 16 plus 1 plus 1. The PCI Express lanes are kind of the same. You've still got 4 slots for M.2 drives. The only thing is it hasn't got a massive amount of USBs on the back. But saying that, the Tomahawk only has 2 more USBs. So it's not like the MSI boards are actually like really stacked out with them. Togue says, I see it on scan, 184 for this board. Yeah, it was a toss-up between scan and overclockers and Amazon, I think. And I went with Amazon in the end, purely for the fact that I had to send a board back anyway, so they gave me the credit for the other board, or they will do. It's just a bit easier to balance the books. And also with Amazon, the returns are a little bit easier than what they would be from scan, so yeah, there is that to it. Let me put the overhead on. You can see what is going on this board for those of you that are interested. Some of you will be, some of you definitely won't be. But for me, it's actually quite interesting. I actually think it's quite a nice looking board overall. Poppy's in the window, mine. Let's see if I can line that up a bit better.
Coming in, Baba. They're okay. Uncle Flame's playing with them.
There we go. Okay, so some rough, so 14 plus 1 plus 1 VRM, absolutely fine. 4 RAM slots. This supports such a 256 gigs of RAM now, because it'll take a 64 gig stick in each one of those slots up to DDR5 7200 megatransfers per second. You've got 4 M.2 slots, so you've got all of them PCI Express Gen 4 times 4. So 1 slot there, 1 slot there, 2 slots under there. That slot is connected to the CPU, as is the graphics card slot, which is PCI Express Gen 5, which is pretty common on Z690 and Z790 boards. So PCI Express Gen 5 top slot, so a bit of future proof in there. You've got PCI Express Gen 3 times 1, PCI Express Gen 4 times 4, and PCI Express Gen 3 times 1. I wish those 2 ports were reversed. That would make much more sense to me, but I guess it is what it is. I guess they're expecting if you do an SLI setup, you're going to want that, so you've got room for graphics card in each slot. But anyway, whatever. USB Type-C front panel connector. You've got 8 fan headers, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's the other one? Oh, yeah, 6, 7, and 8. There's one just tucked in there. So overall, it's actually not a bad little board. It's got pretty much everything you'd want. It's actually got 2 USB 3.0 front panel headers. So if you bend the pins on one, at least you've got the other one. And when it comes to I/O on the rear, it's not a lot going on there, but it has got Wi-Fi 6E. It has got 2.5 gig Ethernet. You've got 6 analog audio jacks. No SpeedIF on that, which is unfortunate, but I never use one anyway, so it makes no difference to me. You've got 4 USB 2.0s. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got USB 3.2 Gen 1, 5 gigabit per second, the blue ones there and there. You've got USB 3.2 times 2, sorry, USB 3.2 Gen 2, 10 gigabit per second, Type A. And you've got USB 3.2 times 2, Type C port, 20 gigabit per second. Wow. And there's the connectors for the onboard Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.3. And of course, you've got your BIOS flashback button. But weirdly, there's a PS2 port. Why have they got a PS2 port? They should have got rid of that, put those 2 USB 2s up there, and given another 2 USB 3s there. I think that would have been a much, much better situation. But ultimately, you're dealing with lanes and all that kind of stuff. So they have given you 6 SATA ports, all of which can be used at the same time, with all 4 of the M.2 drives at the same time. This bottom slot supports SATA-based M.2 drives as well. Those 2 slots are NVMe only. So yeah, overall, it's a little bit on the kind of gamery side, with all this gaming plus stuff going on, but I don't think they've gone too overboard. I think it's alright.
You alright, mate?
Yeah, Riley says, silly MSI, get rid of the PS2 port, add in 2 more USB 3.0 ports. Exactly. David Underhill said, actually, that I've actually recorded the unboxing video for this already today. And David, that is exactly what I said in the unboxing, that gaming motherboards often have a PS2 port because the latency is less than USB. And especially if you're coming to overclocking, if you're overclocking, the USB bus is something which you don't really want to be overclocking too much. So if you can connect via PS2, it's generally a better way of doing it. Viali says MSI are quite poor and unreliable. I don't know. I think it's like any manufacturer. If you buy enough boards, or if you sell enough, then you're going to have more things going wrong because there's just more of them out there. I've had a lot of MSI boards. I've had a lot of Asus boards, a lot of ASRock boards, and quite a few Gigabyte boards. And I would say, arguably, the ones I've had more problems with have been Gigabyte and probably Asus. But yeah, it's a numbers game. Yes, Kath?
Nick Barnes just up a bit about buying case.
Nick Barnes. Have I got to scroll up?
Yeah.
Nick Barnes, question Mike, bought the Series 300 case and the IO ports were really tight. Now only one USB 3 actually registers with the motherboard. Is there a way to check if it's faulty? Not really. That's a bit of a difficult one. I don't know how you would go about doing that. IO ports are really tight now. Yeah, if they were really tight, then it might be that there has been some deformity in it. I would suggest maybe getting hold of Thermaltake UK first of all and see if they've got any suggestions. Speak to Adam. Failing that, I would say probably speak to whoever you got the case from. I'm guessing it's probably going to be Scan. I'll see if I can get hold of Adam over the weekend and see what he says. They might be able to just send you out a replacement front panel I/O, but I've got a feeling the front panel I/O there is built into the case. I'm not too sure. Actually, I think I've got one under the desk. I will have a look in a moment and see what the deal is. Have I got one under here? Yes, there is a Series 300 under there. So, yeah, because the Series 300, the front panel I/O is on the top of the case, isn't it? On the front. But is it on a removable panel? Can you just unscrew them? Yeah, I'll have to check that. If it's only one that's registering and they were stiff to go with, I would say it's probably going to be just a matter of getting that replaced, that front panel. Which, I can't remember how easy it was to get to. I think on those you can just take off the front mesh and you can gain access to 2 screws where it comes off, I think. I'll have to have a look. Skystalker says, nice looking board. I wonder what the AM5 version is like. Poppy? Or
no, it's plain.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, the B650 Gaming Plus Wi-Fi would be the AM5 version, which probably will look very similar. I actually always liked the Gaming Plus boards. The B550 Gaming Plus was always a really good choice. Always really good pricing as well. It was like £100, £109. And it was kind of very similar to the Tomahawk in many ways, which was why it was very popular, I think, because it was kind of the same board but just a little bit cheaper. So hopefully this one will be good. Colin says MSI boards are great. I in general think that MSI boards do very well. Like everything, they would there's going to be failures on them to some extent. It is the nature of the beast. Matthew Day says, I thought that was a long SSD heatsink. No, there is two drive slots underneath there.
Was it Pops? Your babies.
Sky says, really, I wasn't sure that we kept PS2 for gamers. Very interesting. Yeah, it's apparently a latency thing. PS2 is very low latency, whereas USB 2, USB in general has to go through the USB control hub and then through the bus, I guess. Whereas PS2 is kind of one of those ports which has been hardwired onto motherboards forever, which goes kind of, I'm guessing, straight to the processor or straight to the chipset. I don't know. Ordinary Dude says, I love my Gigabyte Z690 Aero G. I did see the Aero. That's a nice looking board, actually.
Was it Pops?
Viali says, lol, I don't like MSI or Gigabyte. Yeah, I think I'm really loath to get into one of those kind of slightly fanboyish things. Like, I like MSI ecosystem. I make no bones about that whatsoever. But having said that, definitely MSI have had some serious issues with the AM5 platform. And I think in terms of all of the key players, I think MSI have done the worst so far for AM5. I really do. Having said that, the newer, cheaper board, the M-P, the little B650M, still just amazes me how fast it boots up. It's absolutely criminal, and it works just flawlessly. So it seems that a lot of the boards that came out the first generation of AM5 for MSI are the ones that seem to be a little bit problematic. Nick says, thanks Mark, yes it was scan. When inserting dongle, PC pings, but not the other one. Not LUT, sorry, girl's taking over the living room. Okay, no worries. Rick H says, what's AM5? I have socket 1155. Socket 1155 is close. It's just a few less pins. JB27 says that James, I installed my new dishwasher this week. Keep those how-to videos coming. Paul Lamont, how you doing, Paul? Says, I've only had one MSI board fail on me, the B450M ATX, when they first come on the market. Nick Barnes says, PS2 interrupts CPU directly. I read long before. Cool, that'll explain it then. JB27 says, I am no longer prejudiced like I once was. Everyone can be prejudiced, it's fine. WHS says my MSI AM5 Tomahawk is great. It might depend on the BIOS. Yes, I think so. Colin says, Mike's Unboxing Reviews, swap it for the Tomahawk board. I'm going to see what this is like. I got it from Amazon anyway, so I've got 30 days to kind of faff around with it. I'm going to give it a go, see what it's like. I'll be interested to see how well it does with my processor. If I put this together and it performs worse than my existing setup, then it's going to go back, regardless. But we'll see. David says the PS2 is handled by the Nuvoton Super I/O chip. That is also the chip that can do the CPU-less BIOS flash. It is a self-contained controller, clever chip. Good stuff. Charles Ballard, how you doing, Charles? Getting late, just starting it, and you said you ate too much. I'm with you. I just tried a new Mexican place, and their burrito California. Sorry, had their burrito California. Stick a fork in me and call me. Done. JB says, but Mike, when you are, prejudice says, doors that can be open remain closed to you. I think we all have, I have a prejudice when it comes to meat. I'm very prejudiced against beef. I'm not a fan of beef. I don't know why.
Shut up.
Although, having said that, today I have
have
bought some Wagyu beef burgers.
gone off.
They're short sell by, not gone off.
I call it gone off.
But if you've not tried, I've got to show you these things actually. These things are awesome. For anyone who's vegan or vegetarian in the chat, that's your loss. Praise sweet baby Jesus for the power of the wireless microphone. Right, there we go. British Wagyu, so it's not real Wagyu. Wagyu burgers. Never crossbred with dairy cattle. These things are awesome, and they were on clearance, reduced from £5.50 for two freaking burgers. Are you shitting me? Down to £2.53. I don't mind spending that. That's the reason.
Do you mind spending that?
I actually do.
Nice.
Yeah, I do mind spending that. But these are celebratory 100k subscriber burgers. Don't you know?
Or they were, so you chucked them all over the floor.
Now, for anyone who's a little bit squeamish, look away. But there you go. That's what they look like. I don't think that's the same ones actually. Maybe it is, but they've got that kind of marbled texture going through them. They're pretty bloody good. We had some last week which were also reduced, and it was like, I was like, oh, I don't really want those. I'm not very interested in burgers, but they were freaking. Did you ever drink that milkshake I bought you? Where is it? Oh, could do with that now to lubricate my larynx. Pervert. Anyway, so back to that. So there we go. Roderick's in the chat. Roderick Kennedy says, hey, hope all well. Not too bad. Nick Barnes says they will shrink half size. Now that is the thing. They do not shrink at all. They literally, the size that you see them is the size they come out. That's the sign of a proper bit of meat. Proper burger. David says you can't make burgers with lean beef. No, you can't. You've got to have the fat in there, which is why those are really good, because they're like marbled all the way through, like Wagyu meat. So you've got very, very fine bits of fat going all the way through all of it. It's just really nice.
But we cook them in fat as well.
Full fat beef. Oh yes, it's good stuff. Ordinary Dude says, I prefer wild game when I can get it. Venison, hogs, turkeys, rabbits. I am a big fan of ostrich. Dave, chill. Yeah, ostrich. If you've not tried ostrich before, ostrich is amazing. It is a very lean meat. There's virtually no fat to it. So you need to like get some lard. Put some lard in the pan and do that. But oh my goodness gracious me. Ostrich steak is just the bomb. It really is. Ugly Bob says, 2 Wagyu burgers, please, and a bottle of Coke. Yeah, definitely.
Oh. He says Diet Coke. We wouldn't have Diet Coke.
We wouldn't have Diet Coke. You have the full fat. If you're going to have a burger, you have full fat. Come on.
As soon as you give up low fat anything, you get thin.
Ordinary Dude says, I've had ostrich before. Very good. Yeah, ostrich is.
Low fat, you've got to keep eating because you're still hungry.
And chips, yes. Let's have some chips as well. Venison is quite nice, but I think venison is a little bit tougher than ostrich.
Freezer, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got some
was
venison.
Sent instead of ostrich 1 week.
Very good. Anyway, so there is the motherboard. So that is the Z790. Fingers crossed this works. I did promise Lexar. I said, there's no worries. I got it all under control. I got a motherboard on order. Just chill, man. It's all good. We'll have this review done. It's not going to be a problem. And it's like dragging on and dragging on. I think that's why I've been getting like quite vexed recently, because I've got a lot of reviews and videos that really I should have cleared by now, but because of the cats and because of one thing or another, sleepless nights don't help.
It's not really even the kittens, it's Poppy looking for the kittens that are right in front of her.
Yeah, it's just this. It's tough. So anyway, that's where we're at. I'm looking forward to doing this. I'm not, but I am, because it is. It's going to be nice to upgrade the platform a little bit and get a little bit of extra pizzazz out of the processor. In theory, I think with this motherboard and that RAM, Poppy,
they're down here.
It should be reasonably possible to almost get 40,000 points in Cinebench, which would be nice, because I've not got that far yet. I've got close before, about 38,000 I think I got. Maybe even 39 possibly, but I would like to break the 40,000 mark. And now, because this is a Z790 chipset, if at first I do not succeed, I will overclock the crap out of it and see what I can do. And luckily it's got 2 8-pin EPS connectors, so I can force a little bit of extra power through should I need to.
James says, did you know that ostriches become attached to their handlers, as in romantically?
Really?
On the cheek.
Wow.
I liked it in I'm a Celebrity when it kept on attacking Johnny Rotten. How's he go?
I can't remember. I quite like that play button now. I'm getting used to that. Very nice. Right, what else have we had in this week which I can discuss?
I know what you got to do.
Oh yeah.
Did See if they can get it from what I did to you.
This is how Kath described it to me. This is good. She went, can anyone guess what that is? And I'm not doing the monster mash.
Got to do it again, one more go.
I can't.
No, that one.
Jizz hands. Yeah, there goes my YouTube channel by doing jizz hands on a live stream.
Oh, it's blazing. We're going with my fingers.
A flying keyboard. Stuart Cleary says, Mike, have a celebratory play button beer with us. I can barely say it.
Do you want a beer?
Yeah, go on then. There is actually that's something else as well I mentioned. Somebody, one of our kind viewers, I don't know who it was, I've got a suspicion who it might be, but one of our kind viewers sent over a little gift hamper of cheeses and chutneys from the, is it Snowdonia? Snowdonia Cheese Company. And there was I think it was three or four cheeses in there and some chutneys. So whoever sent it, thank you very much, but there was no gift attachment letter or anything. I've got a sneaking suspicion it may have been from Seam at Night, who we haven't seen on the channel or in the Discord for a long time. But he is still a supporting Patreon member. So, yeah, we sent him a Christmas card. And someone sent us that. So, Seam at Night, if it is you, Charles, thank you very much. Much appreciated. If there's anyone else in the chat and wants to claim it and say they sent it, do let us know. So now I've got the option now for chocolate milk from Sainsbury's, 5 refreshing glasses.
That's half each.
That's half each, yeah. and or Brewdog Punk IPA. It's very tempting. I'm not sure which way to go.
I miss Seam at Night, says Kieran.
Yeah, I do miss Seam at
Not quite
Night's.
the same artist.
He had that very dry sense of humour. Didn't tolerate many fools either. Flying keyboard. Mark says, anyone seen Corsair Fan Cube? It's a case with 48 fans. I think I did see that before, yeah.
Copy taking them all up to bed.
Paul Lamont says, anyway, an ostrich will get romantically with me is on my plate. Mark Berry says, how much sugar? Yeah. Make some chocolate milk nog. Oof. My little town has a brew dog. Does it? Skystalk says, I miss Seam at Night as well. Odie Bob says, Seam at Night is a fecking legend. JB says, just like CH, he tolerates no fools, even though he is one also. Yes, that is Kerry Holzman. David says, Aussies love beer, just not Foster's. Stuart says, Mr. Poe is missed. He is. I've sent him like a message every now and then on Discord, and I think I've sent him one on email as well, possibly, or maybe via Patreon. I can't remember now, but just like checking in, like, are you okay? Not heard anything back, so I don't know. I'm not sure what's happened there. Ugly Bob says, I'm sure Seam at Night will return when we are deemed worthy. That may take a while. I think we've still got a lot more palms to press before that happens. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so the is the keyboard giveaway, the MSI keyboard giveaway for. Sadly, as much as I like to be inclusive, which I hate saying that because inclusive is just one of those hijacked things these days.
Inverted.
Yeah, but inverted. So let me just find the video that I'm actually referring to right now. Let's go to content and we'll look for GK50. Now, this was kindly donated to us by Colin. who's a lovely, lovely man. Why is that not showing? MSI GK. GK combo, there we go. So we said we're going to do a keyboard and mouse giveaway. And if you haven't had the chance to yet, I'm going to put this in the chat.
And it's not so much the shipping's expensive, it's just all the hoops you've got to jump through now.
That's exactly right. So if you go to, there is a link that I've just put into the video chat. So if you do want to be entered into it, ideally I would love for you to be in the UK, because otherwise shipping is going to be just ridiculous. And it's a UK layout keyboard, so I understand what it's like being in the UK and using a non-UK layout keyboard. It can be a little bit frustrating at times. It depends what you're doing. If you're just gaming, then it's not going to be too much of a problem. But if it's your kind of day-to-day workhorse, or you're doing stuff which involves numeracy, then it can be a little bit of a nose because the keys are in the opposite places. But yeah, it's not the end of the day. But check out the video. Colin Hilton, lovely man, donated the keyboard and mouse and said, Mike, would you do a giveaway on it? So that is exactly what we're going to do. As a GK30 combo, that's why I put in GK50. That's why I couldn't find it just now. So
also we've boxed it up, ready to go, so
yeah,
the kittens don't damage it.
It is boxed up. Literally, I did the unboxing, did the video, then I put it straight back in the box that it came in, boxed it all up, and it's ready to go. So if someone,
we can't show it at the moment.
Yeah, I can't really show it, but I can show you the parcel. So yeah, I am going to
Lord Moss Gaming.
Lord Moss Gaming, hi, evening Mike and Kath. Quick question, is the AM5 platform worthy to look into now for gaming and streaming? Yeah, I think so. I think the majority of the early bugs and BIOSes have been ironed out now. Some boards and some settings still need to be tweaked. So you can't just buy, well, you can. You can't just go and buy AM5's system, throw it together, turn it on and just use it. You've got to massage it a little bit, especially if you turn on XMP. Kieran says, did you review the cooler Bob sent in yet? No, I haven't. It's still just there above me. I'm not sure if you actually, is that even visible? No, it's not, is it? Clearly. Let me zoom back out so you can see. You might be able to see it, I don't know. No, it's just, oh God. Ah, not that way. Is just up there on that shelf. That lens does get really wide. Darren says, I need a keyboard as well, lol. Good. Who's rocking the moat? Yeah. Oh God, the EX360 again. Yeah, I'm going to have to give that away, I think, as well. I've got a whole bunch of... Now, the plan was I was going to do a review of all the 360mm AIOs that I've got, but it's a really hard thing to do because the modern platforms will kind of just try and race to 95 degrees Celsius, whether you're on Intel or AMD, unless you do some tweaks. But then if you do some tweaks to it, you're not really getting the accurate figures that the test should do. So then you either have to say, right, okay, I'm going to throttle the processor to X amount of gigahertz, or I don't know, it's a difficult thing to do. I'm really struggling with the whole concept of it now. Ugly Bob says, haha, EX360. I did actually, I think I had 3 of them in total, because I ordered 2. Bob sent me one as well. And I think that's the last of them up there. That is the one that Bob sent in, so we might do a giveaway on that one. We'll see. I have got 2 builds lined up which need to be done, which I could maybe put in one of them, but I don't think that supports AM5, which is partly a problem. Hey Mapes, where are you going? You get in your box? Do you want your box? Stay over there, look. You want to sit there for a bit? You're looking up there, aren't you? You want to go up there. but you can go there. That's a good place. That box is there, right behind the monitor. No one can see you there, so you can hide.
In here?
Yeah, see?
Well, what on there?
On the box, wow. That's cool, isn't it? You want to stay there for a bit? Okay. Furry, you ain't kidding, look at it. She's like Afro-Caribbean or something. Really, really like big hair.
In the summer, she's like a short hair.
Yeah.
We get 2 cats out of you, don't we? A winter cat and a summer cat. Poppy, amazing even. What are you doing? Going on this one?
Mark Berry says, my son has problems with Razer stuff. Black Widow wireless keyboard, Arme, and one of their headsets too. Also Arme, bad luck. I think a lot of it these days, well, I don't know. Some of it has to come down to the individual and how you use things. Now I know for me, when I finish with like a mouse or something, I tend to wrap the cable around the outside of the mouse. And I do the same for headsets as well. And I'm sure that breaks down the cable much faster than it would if you just left it plugged in and just placed your headset onto like a stand or something. So I think general usage has got to come into it slightly. But I would say that Razer stuff is kind of okay. I don't think I've ever had anything fail from them. I had the Razer capture card, which I struggled with at first. I thought it was broken, but it was just it needed the drivers installed. I've got the Razer Viper Ultimate, which is up there. I've got the Razer Def Adder, not Def Adder, the Huntsman Mini up there. They're all working fine. So no, I think they're probably all right. Dutch Jan says, let GN do it. Not a bad idea. That's their bag. Yes, Kath.
Did you answer Kieran's question about have you done?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Kieran says, I'm sticking with the 13500. I think powerful, easy to cool, and just a good all-rounder. It is actually. Yeah, the 13500 is what reignited my my desire to go with the Intel stuff again. And to be honest with you, I'd probably be still using it if it wasn't for the generosity of MSI sending me over the what's it called? Oh, that's going to spill.
Thank you.
I think there's still tea in mine, but I'll put milkshake in with it. Chocolate
It's
tea.
like a mocha, but tea.
It's a mocha.
That's what a chai latte is, really, isn't it? It's a tea and milk.
Mark Berry says, luckily I bought it from Curry's and paid for warranty, so got it sorted pretty quick. Awesome stuff. Right, says for me it was the weight and feel of Razer mice.
Poppy, what is it?
That tastes cheap. Nice.
What, the milkshake?
Yeah. Dave Bender says, it seems so wrong replacing the switches in my Corsair $75 mouse with the better switches out of a £4 mouse from a discount store. Skystalker says, that is not a milkshake. A mic shake. Willie Bob's is still here. Irritist playing up, so I'll be listening from now on. Oh, I hope you feel better soon. When we talk about mouse switches as well, I have actually replaced the mouse switches in my MSI Clutch GM30. But was it that one or was it the other one? I got two of the bloody things here somewhere. Where's the other one? Swapping out mouse switches is an extremely cool thing to do. And it's such a gratifying thing as well, because it transforms what a mouse actually feels and works like. I think that is the one. This is the one with the... That sounds a lot like the Reds, I think. There is the box for the other one. So this is the original GM30. That's the modified one. Riley says, now add the brew dog to your cup.
Call it a mocktail.
So that one, yeah, that looks brand new. So
Baby James.
I'm not even holding the same, am I?
They can probably only hear thundering footsteps.
You definitely hear the difference between it. You can feel the difference. You can feel it more than you can hear it. Yeah, this one, the red switches in there are a little bit harder to push. And if I remember rightly, so I did buy a bunch of them. So I've got the Kel GM 2.0s, that's the pale blues. I've also got the Kel GM 8.0s, which are quite nice. And I've got the, I think these are, I can't remember what the reds are. But I'm pretty sure this is the ones I use in the mouse, because they're, yeah, there's definitely a nice plungy sound to them. But yeah, the red switches are the ones that I personally like. The Kel GM 2.0 is a little bit mushy, I think, personally. The GM8s are probably the best of them, in terms of Kel switches anyway. But yeah, if you want to get into doing that, taking your mouse apart and actually changing out, yeah, that switch is going to be the same as, that should be the same as the Razer, what's it called? The Razer Viper Ultimate. So if you've got a Razer Viper, that should sound very, very similar. What's that? William Bodie says, where to get them and will you DIY on a mouse video? I am planning on doing it at some point. It has been something which I've been meaning to do for such a long time, because it does actually make a massive difference depending on what mouse you're using. Like, some mice have got a really nice shape to them, such as the GM30 has got an absolutely amazing shape to it. It's got a really nice feel to it, like the size and everything really works well for me personally. But the switches are a bit cack. They're fine. I think they were, I'm trying to think what switches they had in them. They weren't Kel to begin with. No, I can't think what they were. But they are, yeah. It's definitely got a much nicer, and it doesn't rattle so much now either. That was the something that the GM30 had a problem with, really. There's a little bit of rattle to it, but with these switches it's slightly less evident. I think it's more, yeah, it's hardly any movement in the mouse buttons at all now. So the actual switch now pushes up and actually holds the switch in. So as you move the button, as you press the button, it's kind of automatically touching the button, so that you haven't got that kind of slight delay between you touching the mouse button traveling through air, and then hitting the actual switch. So it's right up against the switch, so it's a very precise click. To be honest with you, like, it doesn't make a great deal of difference. I'm still crap at games, but for some people, it does make a massive difference. Like, there's a channel called Bearded Bob, and that's basically his channel, just modding mice and doing stuff to mice and getting them to be as light and as twitchy as possible. I personally don't like overly twitchy mice, but I think it's because I don't use a mouse pad normally on my desk, because if I do, it just gets covered in cat hair, so I need a glass one. I'm not sure. I've not seen a letter for a while. She probably passed out on the old Devil's Milk or whatever it was. Anyway, yeah, to answer the question, I will be doing a video on modifying mouse switches. Actually, that's the ones I use, sorry. Red switches, what are these? Yeah, that's why there's only 2 left in there, because I've used, I think I ordered 5. And I've replaced the middle mouse and the left and right buttons, I think. Or is that the ones I took out? Ah no, that's the ones I took out. Yeah, so that's much less defined. So that's the old switch. So, Willie?
Up a bit, I think. I bought the Crucial P3 for my new PC build as the boot and only storage for my build. I saw on Reddit that it doesn't make sense to use a DRAM plus SSD as the boot drive. How valid is this?
Oh yeah, I see, Willie, yeah. I'll put that question up on the screen there, because that's
something Mike won't remember.
actually quite a valid one, and I won't remember, like you said. Well done. Right, where do I start with that one? Because that is a multi-layered thing. Right. Back in the day when M.2 and SATA drives came out, SSDs and stuff, it was imperative, because of the technology at the time, that it had a DRAM cache. Otherwise, you got to a certain point and the drives would just clog up, because you're sending so much data, they just get bogged down by it, and then it dragged the whole system to a halt, and would kind of almost make them slower than spinning Rust drives, because they're just, the cache was full up, the internal cache, and it was not a good thing at all. As drives have got larger, that problem has mainly gone away. Also, because of how NVMe 1.4 works, incorporating HBM, which is known as host buffer memory, the PCI Express bus and the M.2 drive will basically use some system RAM to buffer memory transfers. So likely in your system you've got 16 gigs or 32 gigs or whatever in your system. So you generally got enough RAM in your system for the system to actually absorb some of that workload, rather than relying on an expensive DRAM chip. Modern drives as well will use a portion of the drive as a kind of pseudo cache. So it'll use some of the drive almost in a kind of hybrid SLC way. So kind of like a single level cache. That's what SLC stands for. So it will kind of almost borrow some of that space from your drive. So your drive still shows 1 terabyte, but it will use a random piece of the drive to use as a temporary buffer. So that with host buffer memory, it's kind of not that important. It depends mostly on the system, what you're doing as well. If you're just using a normal Windows drive, it's going to be fine. If you're doing tons and tons of tiny little operations, sometimes it can bog the system down a little bit, the IOPS possibly. But most people are going to be finding the problem, say for instance, like if you're a content creator and you've just created a couple of videos and you've got maybe, I don't know, 60, 80 gigabytes of data, and you're transferring it from one drive to another on the same system possibly, then you might find that as that buffer speeds up, because both drives are going to be quite fast, there might be a little bit of a kind of issue with buffering. But really most people don't tend to swap over files of that sort of size that often, so it isn't going to be that much of a big deal. But quite often when you see people doing SSD or drive benchmarks, they deliberately do it with an absolute ton of data to find those weak spots. And then that becomes, because drives are very similar anyway, if they use the same controller and they've got similar capacities and they're similar spec, they're going to perform relatively similar. So they try and use that as a way of saying, right, this drive is better fundamentally because it can handle big data transfers. But if you're never likely to do those big data transfers, then that's never going to be a problem for you. And I've been using drives for probably at least 4 years, I would have thought. Maybe less, maybe more, around 4 years. And I've used combinations of drives with cache and without cache. Most of the drives I've used have been using host buffer memory, and I do transfer a lot of big files, like 40 gig files or whatever, over to my NAS on night time before I shut everything down, and I've never found a problem with it. Generally, the weakest link is going to be somewhere in like the network, for instance. Like I'm still transferring 280 megabytes per second, but even an old SATA drive could do that quite easily. So I don't think it's as big a problem as some sites or reviewers would let you believe. Some drives really do suffer though. So if they're if they got a crap controller, they're not optimized, and it's a smaller drive anyway, then you're going to notice problems. I think the biggest problems were like the 60 gig, the 120 gigs, 128s, 256s, some of the 512s. Generally, when you get to like a terabyte and above, the problem's almost non-existent. But, hopefully that answers your question. Riley says, is Mike listening, feeling the clicks of the mouse like Orlando Jones' character Henry Block in the film Evolution, where Harry Block licks stuff and knows what it is from licking? Maybe. Ugly Bob says, does it still work? Oh, that's a... Got you. James says, G502X for the sun. Glenn says, that's me, just got done with the annual light detangling job. We got cats for that, they just bite through the cables, so you've got no knots in them. They don't necessarily work, but anyway, there you go. Truck fan question, thoughts on Kingston's DDR5? I don't really like it. It's overpriced and has somewhat meh CL timings. Yeah, I did kind of mention on that a little bit earlier when we were talking about the Lexar RAM. The Lexar at the moment seems to be probably amongst the best value RAM on the market that I've seen. Previous to that, I was using the Kingston Fury Beast. Is it Fury Beast? Yeah, Kingston Fury Beast, and that was £125, I think, for some 5600 mega transfers, and it was CL36, I think. Yeah, pretty sure it was CL36. 36, 38, 38, 38, I think. No, 36, 38, 38, 80 or 78. Can't remember exactly, but yeah, it wasn't great. But then at the time it was quite expensive for DDR5 anyway. Like the whole market was just ridiculous. David Under says it's 8:12 a.m. and already 30 degrees Celsius. It was only a couple of months ago that you were at 0 degrees. What's going on? Yeah, and minuses. Riley says, glass mouse pad is so easy to clean. Yeah, I bet it is. Riley says, I use a glass mouse pad. Best thing ever. SteelSeries brand. Yeah, I would like to get a... My desk is such a... I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna depress myself. No worries, Willie. Dominic says, stupid question, but when repasting a graphics card instead of using thermal paste, could you use a reusable graphite thermal pad? You probably could do, although you'd have to be extremely careful that the pad didn't slip or slide and move whilst reapplying. That's the biggest problem. And potentially, normally for graphics cards, I find that because there's a little bit of kind of wiggle room there, only a fraction, but graphics cards tend to like slightly thicker thermal paste. So a thermal pad might not quite have the thickness to it. And in general, thermal pads, although they don't need maintenance, they don't always cool as well as a decent dollop of paste. Like if it's just cheap crap paste, then yeah, it'll be better. But if you're using something like Arctic's MX4 or better, a thermal pad generally won't do as well, but it will have a longer lifespan, arguably. James Miscellaneous says, contemplating a supercard. Bet Blackwell comes out not long after. Enough people buy that stuff though. Gave up on RDNA 3. Can't tame its energy or heat reliably. MCM design heatsink flatness. Yeah, I'm in a similar situation. I've got currently the Radeon RX 6800, and it's fine. It's fine. It's I got it reasonably cheap-ish. It's about 360, 370 pounds, which I know isn't cheap, but in the grand scheme of things, graphics card prices, it's not horrendous. But for me, I don't know. It doesn't do. I play a lot of Fortnite. I play a lot of Fortnite, and I do a lot of video editing. And both of those tasks massively prefer a GeForce card. And I'm debating whether or not to go slightly backwards and get an RTX 3070, because I know that'll run well and isn't overly expensive, or to wait and get the new 4070 Super if it's a 16 gig card, which is probably still not going to be cheap. It's still going to be about $550, I guess, if not more. But it would be beneficial in terms of it's going to run cooler, it's not going to use so much electricity, and it's going to be better for the tasks which I actually need to use it for, which is predominantly video editing. So yeah, I'm in a very much a crux at the moment where I'm not entirely sure what to do. I got to the point actually where I took the, it's actually here. I got the Swift 319, the RX 6800. It's literally in the box here because I've taken out to replace it with my Intel Arc A770, which is much better for Adobe Premiere. Not as good for games, but for Premiere, it actually smashes that thing up to pieces. It really does. So yeah, it's a very much I don't want to spend the money on it. I really don't. It really upsets me. And it's not as if like going for a 4070 isn't going to be one of those kind of night and day differences, especially in games. It's probably going to be about the same as that, if not maybe worse in some instances. But the 4070 Super might just be the way if they do squeeze a bit more RAM into it, which traditionally they have done. The Super ranges normally they add a little bit of RAM, so like the 2060 I think was an 6 gig card, and then the 2060 Super was an 8, I think. Possibly. Maybe I'm getting that wrong, but I'm pretty sure the Super cards generally actually had a little bit of extra memory on some models. So yeah, anyway, I don't know. Viali says, just upgraded one of my friends all-in-one computer with a crucial SSD, as his hard disk drive was failing. He couldn't believe the difference, also doubled his RAM. Yeah, going from a hard disk drive to an SSD is night and day difference. 2 seasons, cold or hot? We have one season here, which is just basically moist. when it's boiling hot, it's wet. When it's raining, it's wet. When it's snowy, it's wet. And when it's cold, it's wet. It's mostly wet. It's never dry. We never get a dry heat. Not that I can remember in my lifetime, anyway. Rick H says, co-workers are like Christmas lights. They all hang together, half don't work, and the other half aren't too bright. Merry Christmas.
Who do you work at the BBC?
G-Zone 2.0 says, hi Mike. How you doing, G-Zone? Hugh Luttrell says, I made a 2-foot by 4-foot stainless steel desktop. Works well, 16 gauge, and almost can't be damaged. That's not a bad idea. I bet that's really nice for tracking the mouse on as well. Kieran says the A770 is getting better and better, in my opinion. My only criticism, well, I guess I got two criticisms. The power usage is getting better, actually. I spent last night playing about an hour on Fortnite, and my A770, I think, only used 160 watts, which is kind of fine. And it didn't get over 62 degrees, I think. I wish I'd have bought the 16 gig version now, really. Even though it technically isn't powerful enough to warrant 16 gigs, but I think for video editing it would have been a benefit. And also, as I play Fortnite in 4K, for some stupid reason, I don't know what I do, I think the RAM would be beneficial there, so I could actually move it from medium to high, or from low to medium maybe. James Miscellaneous says the 4070 Super is going to be 12 gig because Nvidia sucks. They do. They generally do. Jay Gordon says picked up an RX 6600 XT secondhand for 150 quid. So price, but think needed as mine died. That's a great price, yeah. 6600 XT. Because the normal 6600 is brand new. I think you can pick up, if you're lucky, for about 180. So depending on what model you got, you've done pretty well. 150 I think is a good price for that. James says I don't want less than 16 gig or less than a 256-bit bus. OCD. I don't mind too much of a 192-bit bus or something. I think that'd be all right. But then you'd have to have 12 gigs, I suppose, then. Although I guess they could work it another way, but yeah. I just want a decent card with 16 gigs of RAM, maybe 12. 12 would be all right, I think. It's almost tempting just to say F it and just splash out on like a 4080 or something ridiculous, which is going to be expensive now, but at least that way I'll be getting use out of it for the next 2 or 3 years, rather than doing these tiny little incremental upgrades every year or every couple of months. Because
if it don't break in the meantime.
Yeah, that's if it doesn't break, yeah. But I think that is probably the way forward, is to maybe go down the road of doing that. Maybe just selling off a few bits and pieces, getting a 4080, and just go with the flow. The thing is, the 4080 at the moment, the MSRP is about £1,200, which is a lot of money. But apparently, the 4080 Super is designed to replace that price point. And potentially, the 4080 might be dropping down to £999. Which still, £1,000 for a graphics card is still absolutely bonkers. But we do live in a bonkers world, which some of you may have already noticed. He says with a cat playing on his desk. Oh. Go away. Dave, I'm very disappointed with you.
It's a dog, mate.
Beer. James says you are correct on the 2060 versus 2060 Super. I own the 2060 Super. Thank you for clarifying. Rick H says go with the ARC A770 16 gig. See, that's the thing. Because I've got the A770 8 gig, buying a 16 gig version seems like almost a daft thing to do because I've got the 8 gig version. Is it going to give me that much extra? I am tempted. Hi Zeno. Mark says, be interested to see if my son sees much improvement going from a 1070 8 gig to a 4060 8 gig. We'll be swapping them over Christmas Eve. Guess who's getting the 1070? Me, lol. Hand-me-downs. Hey, nothing wrong with hand-me-downs. They worked for me all through my childhood. Well, they didn't work for me, but I had very little choice in the matter. I think the 4060 should be a big improvement, to be fair, over the 1070. if only in energy usage. Because you think 1070 was basically the 2060, which would have been the 3050 stroke 3060, and you're going 4060. So you've got like 3 generational jumps there. You should see a pretty good improvement, I think. Thanks for the super chat. Sorry, I've just noticed that light's on. I should be saying things. Beanie King says kitty cat and sends a $5 super chat. Thank you very much.
That's Dave. The cat.
Dave the cat. Nice one, Dave.
No, the cat is called Dave.
Oh, our cat.
Yeah.
Sorry, brain's gone. It's been a long day.
That was Beanie King.
Truck fan says, treat yourself, might get a 4090. Yeah, why not? If you're going to go, you might as well go with style, aren't you? Oh, why is I've broken it? Oh no, there we go. Truck fan says, question, I've got a really weird problem here. I need to transport my PC case. How should I go about rounding up all the small bits and bobs? I'm not sure. What, an empty PC case or a PC case with stuff in it? Or are you on about the small bits and bobs like the case screws and accessories? If it's about accessories now, I just put them into like a little druggy bag. Or just wrap them in some newspaper or tissue paper. Then a bit of tape around it. Toad says the 4080 Super. James says, I'd agree on a 4080 lasting a bit, but damn, if a 7900 XTX didn't have its issues, I'd just get that and be 24 gig happy for a long time. Toad says, Mike, do you even gain much? Is there much point in buying 4080? No, but that's the thing. Gaming isn't everything. I know it is to a lot of people, but for me, video editing is basically my life, my work, my living. So if I can edit a video faster, smoother, then it's beneficial. It saves me time, energy, money, etc. And again, having a 4080 or a 40 series card in general, because of the electricity prices, there is going to be some saving. It's not going to be much. It's going to be kind of pounds rather than tens of pounds or hundreds of pounds, but every little helps, doesn't it? And the 4080, like the 4070 Ti for video editing was awesome, was really good, very impressive. And I do game as well. I do play some games, so it's nice to be able to play games when I want to and have the ability to run them at quite high resolutions and stuff. But yeah, it's not all about that. And also the 4080, obviously the kind of the idle power draw is excellent as well, so saving money there. Rendering time's gonna be faster. Adobe Premiere likes it. Yeah. Seno says, I want your lovely kitten. Yours for a fee. A very small one. Dave Earl says, $1,839. Cheapest 4080 in Australia. RX 6900
Davey.
are only 1,300. Vianney says AMD has improved the drivers so much this year, always been ATI AMD and never had any really bad issues. Yeah, I think it's most graphics drivers these days aren't too bad. You get the odd occasional one where they fluff something up a bit, but it's not too bad. Skystalker says, I'd love to see the stats on donations during a live stream. More cats equals more dollars. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. Let me see if I can see the viewer activity. It's always difficult to tell because it depends what it is you're doing. So
You won't know when the
no,
cats are on screen, will you?
no, that's true.
I think one's going to go on screen in a minute.
One of them's going to go on screen in a minute. Whew, launched across there. Don't chew my feet. God damn it.
Stick to the cables.
Yeah. Go with the USB cables. I can replace those. And I don't have to walk on them tomorrow.
That's enough to knock you out, isn't it?
Depreciation, this is from Chris Hartford, says the depreciation on GPU prices means I'll never buy a new one. This is how thrifty or tight I am. Even though, obviously, like, this is what I do for a living, so I pay my taxes. So if I buy a graphics card, I can claim the tax on it because it's a business expense. Whether I'm using it for gaming, for testing games, which even if I'm playing games in my own time, I'm still technically testing games because I'm still forming or formulating an opinion on a particular product using it by playing games. Or I'm using it pretty much all day long for researching whilst using my computer or actually video editing. So it is a genuine like, this is a purchase for work. So I could, if I wanted to, just get an RTX 4090 and effectively, because I claim that as a tax deductible, I'm effectively getting it for 30% less than it costs because you're not paying that 30% tax that you'd otherwise paid on profits. But it's still a hell of a lot of money. And even though technically 30% of it is discounted, i.e. tax that I won't give to the tax man, it's still a massive amount of money. So, yeah, it's a really bizarre place to be. I think most business owners would probably just go, what the hell, I want it, I need it, get it. But I've always got one foot firmly stuck in reality. And you never know what's around the corner, so spending a lot of money like that is terrible. Stuart says, oh no, I am. Ugly Bob says, take that back, gaming is life. Gaming is life, but I don't know how people can do it all day long. I get really bored of games. Unless it's like a brand new game which has just come out, in which I'm like, Starfield, I quite easily put in about 4 to 6 hours of that straight away when it came out. And Dead Island 2, probably very similar, possibly more. Dead Island 2 was far more interesting than Starfield. Starfield sucked. It really did. I'm glad it was free with a graphics card. If I'd have paid actual money for it, I'd be pissed. Even if I was claiming it back as a business expense. But yeah, gaming, I can't do it for too long. Like even on night time, I play a bit of Fortnite, I'll have maybe, I don't know, 3 to 5 rounds, and then I get kind of a bit sidetracked. Maybe I'll hear a Discord ping or something. Oh, what's that? Well, PC won't boot. Okay, let's have a look. And kind of that's about as much as I do. Or maybe 2 or 3 different tournaments on Wreckfest. A couple of maps on CSGO. And that's about it really. But I couldn't do it all day long. Like George does it sometimes. He'll get up in the morning, he'll start playing the game, and he'll still be playing it when he goes to bed. I don't know how he can do it. But maybe it's because I'm always juggling so many different things that I don't really ever sink into one particular area. Anyway. Rick H says time is very precious. It is. It is. There's not enough hours in the day. And I don't get up early enough to make up those extra hours. And I don't really want to because it's cold. And it's horrible. And it's damp and dark. And that's just in bed. Least favourite manufacturer for SSDs. I don't think I have a least favourite manufacturer for SSDs. I suppose if I had to pick one, probably be Oh God, OCZ. That's the ones I had the most failures with. Stuart Cleary says I build houses and I always claim PC tech for tax. See,
Your account somewhere.
I struggle with doing taxes. I know people say, oh, you will claim this, you will claim that. And it's like, well, but it's not really for work, or I can't really justify that. So I do try to be as honest as I possibly can with my tax return. Probably to the point of being too honest. But I'd rather be more honest, and then if there is ever an investigator came around to check your taxes to make sure you've been doing them right, everything is there and it's above board. I haven't lied about anything, so if I have to kind of, they ask me about and say, well, what is this? At least I know I've got the paperwork to back it up, and I know that it's a justified expense, or at least I can justify it. They may turn around and say, well, no, that isn't right, in which case I say, well, okay, that is my bad. You sign, when you do your tax return, you do make a pledge or a statement to say that the tax return that you're submitting is done to the best of your knowledge, which, to be fair, it is. So if they turn around and said, well, you cannot claim that because of, I say, well, I thought I could because of, so then I've done it to the best of my knowledge, and I have justifiable paperwork to prove or disprove whatever I'm trying to do. It's very boring shit, really, and I'm sure most people will just take the piss out of the system, but I'm useless at kind of remembering that stuff if I have to ever lie about it, so it's easier just to do it all by the book. Kieran Atkinson says, the noisy cow in the flat upstairs is annoying me. Laugh my ass off.
Is it her or is it me?
Yeah.
Is that code for me?
Yeah. Is it Kath in the background? Have you got headphones on? There's Poppy Dora. She's in the window.
She's only just gone out. Come on.
Stuart Cleary says, people can naturally tell a good person, and Mike, you are one of the good ones. Hence your increasing subs. Thanks, Mike and Kath and the kitties. Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you to say. It's a constant battle every day to be a good person. It takes work, because I think I could probably turn into a complete asshole quite easily. But I do kind of try to reality check myself all the time. And I've got a lot of self-doubt and like those demons that a lot of us have, where like I still get the imposter syndrome. I really do. It's a very, very hard thing to live with and deal with. The fact, not that I'm like a famous YouTuber or anything like that, because that's just ridiculous. But the whole thing of like, I'm earning a living and I'm on YouTube and people are listening to what I say and taking my advice, and you guys come and watch the streams and all that kind of stuff. It is still quite, it's very weird. So it's one of those really sort of like pinch yourself moments, because kind of like, I'm just a regular person. The fact that you all...
You're just Jenny from the block.
I'm just Jenny from the block. Even with...
I've got a lot.
But no.
A lot of cats.
I've got a lot of cats and not a lot of cash. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. But it is, you do get this, yeah, it is a very weird imposter syndrome when like other people talk about it. Like the guy I work with in the shop, if he's talking to his friends, he'll take his phone and he'll like take a selfie with me and go, look, I'm with Mike from Mike's Unboxing. And it's like, it's still very, very strange, very odd. It's nice, but it's very odd. Toad says, when is this 7500F review coming out, or has that been scrapped? It hasn't been scrapped, it has been somewhat postponed. For a multiple of reasons. One reason is because it still isn't readily available here in the UK in any great numbers. And I kind of had a bit of a retcon with myself about it because I had the video planned out in my mind and the thumbnail and all that kind of stuff. I was kind of visualizing it a little bit. Yeah, believe it or not, I do actually visualize some of this stuff. And we picked up the 7500F for like a ridiculously low price. I think it's like £130 or something, which is a mental price for the performance that it provides. And I was thinking of the review, and I've done some benchmarks, and I've done a lot of the preliminary work, to be fair. And I'm kind of thinking to myself, right, as someone watching this video, this all seems really impressive, and it seems excellent value for money, and with the motherboards getting cheaper, the DDR5 getting cheaper, this seems like a really good plan. But then I went around trying to pick up the processor to see what the current price was, and the prices have crept up. So you're looking around about, I think as of today, somewhere in the region of about 150 realistically is what you're likely to pay. You can pick them up as motherboard bundles in the UK from places like AWDIT. You pay about from what I can work out, about 170, 175. So then that puts another spin on it, because then you can pick up things like the 13500 for not a massive amount more. Or you can pick up like the 12600 for a little, well, no, actually no. What was it? The 12400, 12400, 12600 I think it was, for not that dissimilar money. And you can pick them up like from Amazon or local UK suppliers and get them next day delivery, not have to go through the whole kind of AliExpress will it won't it sort of situation. And potentially it's not going to come here, it's not going to get here before next year anyway, at least now anyway. So yeah, it was one of those things that I'm kind of like, until a few more UK stockists actually have them available, I'm sort of, I wouldn't say unhappy, but I'm not overly keen on doing the review and trying to persuade people to get one from AliExpress, because if there are issues with people buying it from AliExpress, or they buy it from a seller which I haven't used, and there's any problems, it then reflects on me, and I don't particularly want that. And because there's no real UK stockists which do it for a sensible price, it's difficult to suggest. I don't know, I'm probably not making myself overly clear here, but it's just something just didn't feel right about it. I might still do the video from the information and bits and pieces I've got together already. But Dave, get out!
David, don't you think you can do that after I can do?
Anyway, yeah, hopefully that explains it. I might still do it, I might not, I don't know. Another thing which got me is build, because the graphics card that I've got installed in that system at the moment is a GTX 1080, which isn't a particularly powerful card, so it's not stressing the CPU at all. And then I was looking around and I was thinking, actually I don't have a graphics card here which is going to get to the point where I'm actually going to be creating a bottleneck on the processor. And that was also another thing. It's like, well, so what is the limit processor wise or GPU wise to this processor? And I couldn't answer that question, which kind of bothered me a little bit, because normally I'd like to kind of have some idea of where it lies. But it seems that even with like a 4090, the 7500F is fine. And I'm not buying a 4090 for that purpose. So yeah, it's a weird one. And I know immediately if I do the testing without putting a decent graphics card in there, it's going to only get those people asking that question, like what's it like with this graphics card? And I don't want to kind of half do it, but I might still do it anyway. I'll see what happens. Oh, come on, bloody thing. Right, moving on. David O'Neill says, I bought my RX 1600 XT for $880. Now, new less than half. Don't regret the purchase. I understand. William Bodie says, does the cat love Mike so much? Never been that long with him in the stream. Oh yeah, Maisie loves me, doesn't she?
She's always there, isn't she? Just out of shot usually.
She's generally in a little box just behind the monitor there. She don't really move a lot. She needs to have her toenails clipped, but I don't want to do that. But when she's walking around, you can hear it because she doesn't go out much. Her toenails get long. You can hear her like tap, 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 tap on the desk.
She's quite old now. You're 12 now, aren't you?
Kieran says, I'm debating getting one of those 4 terabyte silicon power SSDs for 170 odd. 4 terabytes is a nice bit of space. At the moment on my video editing system, I've got 2 drives. One is the 1 terabyte, which is just Windows. I've left nothing else, so that's barely used. There's like 200 gigs on there, about 700 and odd free. The secondary drive is a 2 terabyte, and that has 2 partitions, one of 1.25 gigs, terabyte, and the other one is like 700. So the 700 or so is for the video editing, and the 1.25 is for my games. So there's only 3 terabytes of storage in there, but basically probably only about one and a bit used. Ugly Bob says this channel is about value for money. Getting a 4090 would be against the channel's principles. That is something else which, yeah, even if I wanted to celebrate and buy something expensive, it still would go against the channel's principles. So I'd feel bad about doing it. Sky says, William Bodie says, Kath, why is Maisie so long with Mike? She's glued to the desk. She likes the mouse mat you sent.
She actually does. If we left it out overnight,
she would sleep on this overnight if we let her. Sky says, if you never mess around with your taxes and stuff, you never need to worry. I have enough worry in my life. Yeah, that's it, yeah. I'm not sure what that name is. Is that Thanos?
I don't know. I think
maybe it is.
Ugly Bob called it.
Hey Mike, have you ever had a virus on your computer? Yeah, loads of times.
Do you want to go out? Oh, you're a big boy.
Back in the day when things like Kazaa and BitTorrents and LimeWire and all that kind of stuff was out, you get a virus every other day. Downloading some cracked exe to run a game or something and be like, oh yeah, there's another virus. Here we go. Truck fan says, have you ever had a PC breakdown mid-edit? Yes, when I had my X570 Asus Tough Gaming rig and the... what was the power supply I had in that? Oh, it was a 650 watt gold. Not Seasonic. What was the bloody brand? I can't think what it was called. We did a video for the power supply. Oh God, I can't think what it is now. But yeah, it was a quite nice power supply, and for some reason, every time I started a render or went on a specific game and opened up a certain... Oh wait, get off the keyboard. Did a certain map, it would just immediately crash out the system. And it turned out it was the power supply. I sorted the power supply out and it was absolutely fine after that. Ugly Bob, I'm not a famous YouTuber or anything. Yeah, YouTube plaque on the wall. Sky says we all have the potential to be an asshole. Yeah.
Maisie, don't go for
we
candies. Do. Maisie, you're on stream.
Oh, no butt sniffing, please.
They're drinking your tea.
Get out of my tea! That's right.
Candy, you're sugar free. You're not meant to be drinking stuff like that.
This is ridiculous. David says, my sister reported me to the tax department. She said I never reported some income after audit. I got an additional $1,100 tax refund and I had forgot a couple of deductions. She was pissed off. Dutch Jones says, question, do you think there will be USB Type-C sticks? Oh, what, like in memory sticks, you mean? Yeah, definitely. That's, yes, I think there will be. I think USB Type-C sticks makes sense. I've actually got one. Ugly Bob, bless his heart, sent me one ages and ages ago. It's in the drawer here with all my other actually, funny enough, true story, Bob actually sent me this pouch as well, which holds all in. My posing pouch. Posing my stuff. So this is basically my cables, or some cables, and my storage devices. So this is like emergency USB stuff. So I've got a 1 terabyte SSD. So that is USB type C. I've got a drive caddy. I've also got in here another drive caddy. So that is, I think that's a 250 gig. Where is it? Yeah, 250 gig laptop hard drive, just on a SATA type connection. So that is, well, not SATA, so USB 3, so one of those mini USB type things. So I can just plug that in, store some data on there. But what I was actually looking for is not that one.
Oh, that is Thanos, and he loves this photo.
Thanks, Thanos. Now, where the heck has that gone now? Oh, there it is. It's tiny. So this, actually, I'll probably have to show you this up close, he says, as they walked into the woods. So this is the SanDisk. I think this is 128 gigs. It's got a little thingy strap on it. Don't know. It is now.
Focused on amazing.
So on that end, it is USB-C. And on this end, it is USB Type A. So basically you can take this anywhere you want and use it on a PC, or you can use it on a Macintosh, because most Macs have only got USB Type C these days. Or even on your Android devices, plug it into your Androids, maybe even some new iPhones as well, and just use that as storage. So yeah, it's very convenient. So to answer your question, yes, I think USB Type C drives will be a thing. They kind of are already, in some way. Right, Dave? Paying some close attention here. You're going to become an unboxer. You may also become somewhat famous in your own back garden. Oh, forgot about that one.
Dave's Unburying channel.
Dave's Unburying channel. Today, ladies and gentlemen, Dave from Dave's Unburying will be unburying a massive turd he did in the garden about 3 weeks ago. Currently, it is... You've gone to sleep.
I think I've
Dave?
got him out.
Dave, camera is that way. You gotta look that way, you can smile.
Davey.
Like Jeremy Clarkson.
There we go. Davey.
Bless him.
Keep looking. Don't look away.
There you go, Dutch Jan. Hopefully that answers your question. Colin just sent you a PM on Discord, Cav.
I've got it. And replied.
Okay.
I've got cats out of cupboards since then.
Well done. Let's scroll down a bit. Oh, also as well, Colin messaged us today to say that Ava had that all clear. So some of you probably remember, and some of you probably got involved as well. We, with Colin and some of his friends as well, did like a gaming PC bundle for this young girl who's been battling cancer, which is a horrible thing to have to do. And yeah, apparently yesterday she rang the bell, which for those of you that have got family members or have known anybody with, yeah, the big C, you'll know what that is all about. So yeah, she had the test. She is now currently all clear, which is absolutely fantastic news. So Ava, if you're watching, which I hope you're not, I hope you're having some much better time on your PC playing games rather than watching this old fool. But from all of us here at Mike's Unboxing, enjoy the rest of your long and lustrous life. Toad says you can get a 7600 for £170 these days. Fair point on the 7500F. Now that was my thinking, because I actually did buy the 7600 on eBay this week for £167. So I've ordered another one of those now. What did I have? So I've almost got the full suite now. So I've got the 7500F, I've got the 7600 come in this week, I've got the 7700 in the PC behind me, I've got the 7700X in a box under there for a PC build. So I only need the 7800X 3D, the the 7900 and the 7950, and then that's it. I'm done. I've got most of the decent price ones. Oh yeah, I just noticed that. So yeah, that was my thoughts. The 7500F at the time when we all got involved and bought them at a really nice price, it seemed really good, and it was. But at the time, as the clock has rolled on, especially like the 7600, like given the choice between like 140 and 150 quid and waiting maybe 2, possibly 3 weeks, maybe longer at Christmas time for an AliExpress special to come through, or spending an extra 10-15 pounds and getting a brand new processor from a UK company, and actually supporting UK companies, which we endorse that. That's a good thing to do. Support local shops if you can. If you can't support local, support national. That's what it's all about. So for the extra money, I think the 7600, possibly in some instances, is the better choice as well, being ever so slightly faster, like 100 megahertz. But the fact that it's got the built-in AM5 graphics as well, the Radeon 2, even though it's shite, it's still really handy for fault finding should anything go wrong. And for things like video editing or streaming, it's just another thing you've got on your system which can help that task. So yeah, I think it's the 7600 for the price it is now is a pretty good shout. Oh god, I've gone far too far.
Boiling. Can I have some more? Chock-a-block.
Thanos says, can I find a secure case for my external SSD drive? What do you mean, like one that you can bounce around? Like a ruggedized one? Maisie?
What's she doing?
She's licking my hand as I was pouring. He's going.
Thank you.
David Andrew says, I used to have a big cat turd in my backyard. The divorce finalised that problem. Ba-boom. James says, ooh, the sausage show. You bastard. Edward Sausage Fingers. Skystroke says, wow, that is fantastic. Congratulations. Thanks again, Colin, for setting that up. Yep, totally. Chris Hartford says, I went for the 7900X as CEX had one for not much more than the 7700X. Overkill for my use. I'll be honest, when I was doing the Z690 the other day and it failed miserably, I was very much at a point where I almost put in my MSI B650 Gaming Edge Wi-Fi and went for AM5 in my editing system. And I was so close to doing it, and then I thought, no, Intel QuickSync. Mike, you need Intel QuickSync. Do not swap out your motherboard. So yeah, it's going to take me a long time to come away from Intel for video editing now. I experienced it before with the, what did I have last time? The i7 2600K? And that was like, I went from a Athlon X4, I think it was. Was it an Athlon X4? Yeah, Athlon X4 to the i7 2600K. And it's like, bloody hell. This is so much better. Toe says, not these days, no. Yeah.
You're going to do the giveaway soon.
Oh yeah. Also, AM5 likes to go kaboom. I think Intel likes to go kaboom as well. I think everyone likes to go kaboom at some point. Sky says, what is Intel QuickSync? Intel QuickSync is the like the integrated graphics on Intel processors, like the built-in iGPU, have a thing called QuickSync, which is part of their GPU kind of hardware. but QuickSync works really, really well with Adobe Premiere. It makes it so that when you're like scrubbing along the timeline, it's hardware accelerated, so you can use that and your graphics card to make it even smoother. And there's, I think that relates back to when Apple started using Intel processors in the MacBooks and the iMacs and Macs and what have you, because Adobe Premiere and the video editing suites are obviously a really big thing for Mac users. So the QuickSync technology was in the processors. It's now also in the new graphics cards as well. So if you have QuickSync on your processor and you have QuickSync on your graphics card, they will work in tandem and literally steam through your timeline. It works really well. Skystalker says, oh yeah, I did hear about that. You would think that AMD would have that as well for their iGPU equipped processors. Well, that is the thing. The QuickSync, Intel QuickSync, is their own customized thing. It's like their trademarked thing. So I don't think they're going to give that up. David says QuickSync iGPU usage for encoding whilst using external GPU at the same time. Yeah, the new Intel processors, actually, the technology behind them is amazing. The way that it all kind of works together, especially if you're on an all Intel platform, like Intel motherboard, Intel processor, Intel graphics, Intel Wi-Fi, all the stuff together just really works nicely together. It's just a real shame they couldn't get the power envelope a little bit lower. That would have been like the killer thing. But saying that, the new laptops seem to be slightly more efficient. We're yet to see that. They only came out, I think, yesterday or the day before, so still waiting for some kind of real numbers to come in on those. Riley says, just looking to see if AMD is anything similar. So far, ATI Stream is mentioned as the closest tech feature. Well, the only other thing really that AMD have got as the Radeon platform, both in the graphics card and also the integrated graphics, is basically the hardware assisted H.264 and H.265 encoding. That's kind of it. Which really, that is, for most people, that's all you need. Like, most videos online are going to be over H.264 or H.265 or variants of that. The newer ones have also got the AV1 encoding as well. So that would be quite good. Truck fan says, Mike, aren't you 5 minutes over your stream closing time? I would answer that, but unfortunately, there's a motherboard box which is covering up the clock, so I can't even see what time it is. Oh yeah, I see what time it is now.
But you haven't done the giveaway yet.
I know, I haven't done the giveaway yet. Let me see if anyone's actually bothered to go into it. Where are we? Video details, comments. Oh, so Darren's in. I will leave you a heart on there. And I will write in there, good luck. Oh, no, I won't, because the keyboard's turned off. Good luck. I'm trying to think now, actually, how do I... Oh, random comment picker, that was it, wasn't it? That's what we used before. Lord Moss Gaming says, would be an ideal addition for my streaming. Good luck to you. Jay Gordon, great as always, and would love to win. Good luck. Hope you are lucky. See, I do actually reply to YouTube comments. Not.
It says you appear to have adopted some gremlins.
I do.
Get one of the cats wet or feed it after midnight.
All of the above.
I think Poppy went out in the rain.
Ugly Bob says Colin Hilton is the man. You're goddamn right. What film was that from? No, not film, what series was that from? I'm giving it away now. Right, so there are some entries. I wonder if I can do that from random comment picker.
Truck fans off.
Cheers, truck fan. YouTube random comment picker for YouTube. Yeah, whatever. Live streaming. No, I don't want live streaming. I want video comments. Shared content. Oh no, I don't want that.
Has everyone entered?
Has everybody entered? If you haven't entered yet, please do now. I'll quickly put the video in again, I think. There we go. There's the link for the video.
UK.
UK only, please.
What the hell is that? I thought you turned into Ron Jeremy.
Actually, that's something I was going to do.
What, Ron Jeremy?
No, better than that. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is how it all started. This is our first video.
It went, oh yeah, it was. Here.
I'm not sure if you can actually hear that.
You just get changed out of your school uniform there.
Can we actually hear it? Just say in the comments.
We can hear it.
Cool.
And here it is.
Mike at 21 years old. Mike at
So now,
I've still got that knife.
let's see what we've got. On the box you got all the features, H2O, wet and dry, 1.5 metre hose.
See the shaky hand back then?
Yeah. That's Kath doing handheld recording, I think,
Got a long hose to get into your jobs.
with a mobile.
What phone was that? Push.
No, that was the Motorola G4.
Classical hose.
You had
Plug in there for
push
sight.
back then, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same
There's your
room.
plug
So
in
that is
there.
the same room. That corner that you can see there, where my
Ah,
there's a chair.
little toggles on there.
If you can,
So
yeah,
they
you can
fit
just
in
make.
one way.
I think you can see
He
it there.
did write on it in permanent markers for a video as well.
And,
Yeah,
and
that
twist
bit
the
there.
lock in. So that's
That
nice
is
and well.
the corner. That is where the PC is now. Just this bit on the wall.
And that might be a tricky thing.
I'm trying to see where the actual light went because the light turned off somewhere.
No, it didn't on this one.
I know.
So try and line them up first visually. Put it in, twist the lock.
Wow.
With noggins.
Right, that's that done. Mains cable. Put in.
Oh dear. I don't think I can't really subject you to much more of that kind. There we go.
Put on the one where you did the
Reasonably long, not
exercise
too
belt.
bad. Luckily I've got a socket.
The exercise belt?
Too far.
What was that
Being
one?
it's on battery, that means it shouldn't be a problem anyway.
And you were running up and down the street.
Wind that back up.
Ab fitness belt.
Oh, yeah.
too.
Abflex.
That's the one.
I don't think I'll find
See
that.
what else we've got. Weight,
It's
4.5 kilos. So
actually let's do this giveaway.
not too heavy, reasonably portable.
Oh, it's Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today.
It looks like Rob
Shut up.
Ross, the dart player. Should look like that.
You're not the first person to say that. Dave, can you stop licking me, please? Have I got bloody chocolate milk on me or something? Or is that the finger I wiped me ass with?
That'd be so horrible.
Maisie, chill. I'm trying to do mouse things with my finger. Please, can you stop that? Right, that is there. Right, random comment picker. He says, right, Control V. Is that going to work? YouTube filter duplicate users. Yeah. Add comment replies. No. Filter comments by words or hashtags. No. Raffle settings. Number of winners. Number 1. Animations. Show random names. Add a theme color. I don't want to do that. Solve sum. 8 plus 2. That's going to be 10. Oh, it's caps lock
That's a
now.
bit hard for you.
It is, isn't it? Right, get YouTube comments.
Toke said, did I miss how to enter the giveaway?
laugh my ass off. You might have done. As this free tool, that seems to, is that working or not?
I think you might need a beard trim, Maisie.
YouTube videos, multiple winners. So one, YouTube comment picker. Yeah, that's working. Looks like it's working. Toad says, never mind. Right. There's the video. If you go in and just say who you are, where you are, and what, and that you want it, and I'll give you some seconds to do it. Amount of unique comment. Right, I'll run it again. So solve some. There we go. Toad says, yeah. Oh, that's a set. Okay, it's okay. Not right. Get YouTube comments. 27. Alright, start raffle and pick a winner. So there we go, give them through all the names. And the winner is at Lord Moss Gaming. And just so you can see that, I will switch over to the desktop stream. And there you go. So there is the winner at Lord Moss Gaming. So at Lord Moss Gaming, you are the winner of the keyboard and mouse set. Congratulations to you, sir. And also again, massive thanks and shout out to the one, the only, the unstoppable Colin Hilton for providing us with this giveaway bundle. So Lord Moss Gaming, you are in the chat, I believe, or at least you were. If you're still in the chat, will the real Lloyd Moss Gaming please stand up? Please stand up. Wasn't there earlier, I think?
Still in there, I think, because it came up with a, you could tag them.
Yeah, there you go. So Lord Moss Gaming, you are the winner. So get in touch, drop us an email, or I think you're on the Discord as well, if I remember rightly. So if you're on the Discord, do that as well. But yeah, other than that, you are the winner. Congratulations. And again, thank you once again to Colin Hilton for providing it. Excellent stuff. Ugly Bob says he's a force of nature, that Colin Hilton. Yeah, he definitely is. Dude can do some serious driving. Does a lot of driving. Thanks, O'Reilly. Skystalker says I never win. Sky, you're always a winner. In our eyes, you're a winner. He does clock out those miles. So there we go. Great stuff. That's one more box I can get out of the front room. Oh dear. Maisie, we got viewers watching. Can you please not do that? Seriously?
Mind she don't get her foot stuck in her fur again.
Let's state this tonight. Mike's Unboxing, sponsored by and powered by Sainsbury's Chocolate Milk. Made with British 1% fat milk. Well, I want more fat in my milk, thank you. Oh dear.
Maisie, you were clean 5 minutes ago, now you're on vacation. Chocolate milk is the best milk.
To be fair, I don't mind a bit of chocolate milk. It is basically empty though. I don't know why I got all the cats on me. Well, not all of them, but 2/5 of the ones that are in the room.
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here, and Flame must be upstairs. Or did he go out?
Right, I think that is pretty much it. Crypto KJ said, did my comment show? Not sure I got the right video. I think I did see your name come up as it was flipping through them. Ow.
Ugly Bob. Maisie gets chocolate milk too now.
So, Lord Moss Gaming, you're the winner of the GK30 combo set, keyboard and mouse, provided by Colin. If we don't hear from you by, what do we normally say, 48 hours, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So we'll say if we don't hear by the end of Monday, we'll end up rerunning the raffle. So yeah, I think 48 hours is fine. So we might have another go at doing that.
I'm going to try and contact you on Discord as well, if you're on there.
Yeah, we will try and contact you on Discord or something just to make sure you are who you say you are, etc. Woo! Right, Maisie, can I have my mouse back, please? You're really starting to...
Maybe she's licking the mouse.
Oh, you're licking some up. Cripes.
Poor old Davy Jones.
Actually, that's quite good. That the live comment
Davy
picker...
Jones is looking away.
Dave's like... that comment picker was one of the videos we did ages ago, and it was a really popular video. We had loads of views on that. I might have to redo that video because it's changed a bit. So thank you all to everyone who's commented and taken part tonight. Big shout out to Beanie King, first time of sending in a super chat, and also Viali, first timer. Captain White coming in with £2 there. JB27, Glenn, O'Reilly, Ugly Bob, Mick Woods, Ugly Bob again. So thank you all for your super chats. Thank you also to Nick Barnes, Stuart Cleary. Thanks to Colin as well for sending in the goods for the giveaways and stuff. And thanks all of you really for helping us get to where we are. Like the live streams are just a little bit of fun and a little bit of a break and then basically like a wind down from the week. But it's been very cool to do this, be on this journey with all of you, and for you all to kind of allow us to be able to do this journey. Really, it's been awesome, and there's been a lot of you that have been around from the very early days. One of which, like Harvey Linden's been around since basically I think probably the first week or so.
And Harvey Linden gave us our first super chat ever.
Yeah, Harvey was actually the very first person ever to give us a super chat on a live stream. So yeah, it's funny how people come and go. Thanos says, "You're amazing, so happy." Thank you very much. And Trevor Mundell says, "Hi Mike, good night. When are you back again live, Trevor?" We'll be back again Saturday, next Saturday at probably the same sort of time. I am... Somehow this year's worked out really crap that Christmas Eve is on Sunday. I work Sundays, so I am working Christmas Eve, unfortunately. So there will be a stream next Saturday. It's just, this year I'm seeing Christmas as basically, it's just another day. Yeah. I will still be working on the YouTube. I will still be working on the Discord, taking on all your support requests and all that kind of stuff. And I think personally, for me, I do see Christmas Day and the Christmas period as being kind of one of the busier work times. So for a lot of people, for a lot of you out there in YouTube land, you're probably breaking up for your Christmas break and thinking, oh, you got 2 weeks off to enjoy the festivities. For me, this is all just kicking in now, because by making videos showing people how to mend things and fix things and doing the how-tos and that, and having the Discord, it's kind of making a rod for my own back. So this is the busy time. So Christmas morning, there's going to be all sorts of people. My PC won't start. I built this new PC. I've got this. It won't work. Every year we get it, but I don't complain because it's been a pretty good run. We've got a really great group of people that are regularly following us on the Discord and in the videos as well, and being part of our extended Mike's Unboxing family. So that is all very cool. If you're not joined already, Discord links are there. But yeah, I think Christmas Day, Boxing Day is just going to be just another working day. And I probably will be sat there Christmas morning on my computer over there in the YouTube studio, answering comments and replying and doing all the stuff we normally do.
Cooking the dinner, what are you on about? Hopefully, Angel will be taking on the cooking duties whilst I'm basically working. But to be honest with you, there could be a lot worse. There's people out there working in hospitals, working in shops, working in the harvesters, working in pubs.
working all round, doing things like obviously emergency services, people that are stationed in other countries. Maybe you've got family who are fighting various wars around the country, whatever. They're all going to be working on Christmas Day. It's just another day. And I consider myself to be very lucky to be at least able to work from home and kind of do it at my own speed, really. More times than not. So yeah. Mike's unboxing PJs. I could do with that, yeah. It'll be Mike's unboxing thermals, I think, this year. It's quite cold. But yeah, we will be carrying on as normal. So there won't be, I don't think there's going to be any break in content either. We're basically scheduled up as we are normally. So there's 3 weeks of videos scheduled at the moment. So, well, that's 3 working days. Sorry, 3 weeks of working days, like week working days. So Monday to Friday. We don't release a video on a Sunday. We have the live stream on a Saturday. So Sunday is like the catch-up day for the Saturday stream. But yeah, they'll still be going on. They're all still being made, and we'll still be making them. So yeah, it'll all be. You won't notice any loss in quantity, maybe performance or quality. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I'm waffling now, so I'm gonna knock it on the head.
Thank you all for our 100k.
Thank you all very much for giving us or helping us to get to this point. It is much appreciated. As always, if you've enjoyed this video, then hit the like button. Maybe if you've liked it, you want to be a subscriber, hit the subscribe button and the chime button. More importantly, share the bloody videos. That's going to be the thing, I think, which is going to push us on to the next milestones, and that is you helping to get the message out there to other people. So if you want to share it on your social feeds or whatever, please feel free to do so. It is very much appreciated, everything that you guys do, and hopefully you appreciate what we do as well. So, I'm going to wrap things up. I've been Mike.
Dave is Paul's wave.
Dave, wave. God, he's too heavy, I can't lift him. Where are we? What was on the video? Oh, that's one. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching, and have a great week, and we'll see you on Monday. Thanks for watching. Say bye, Dave. Simply not interested. Cheers, everyone.